The ancient Buddhist monks understood that perfect vision goes beyond physical eyes. They faced the same mental fog that clouds your perception today and discovered that through 10 sacred visualizations, the mind can heal what the body manifests. Tonight, your journey of visual restoration becomes a profound meditation. Ancient Buddhist texts speak of visualization as the bridge between the seen and unseen worlds, between the limitations of physical form and the boundless potential of consciousness itself. For centuries, monks in remote monasteries have whispered about techniques so powerful they could restore not just sight to the eyes, but vision to the soul. These are not mere exercises in imagination, but precise methods of directing the mind's infinite creative force toward healing and renewal. In the mountains of Tibet, where the air is so clear that distant peaks appear close enough to touch, there lived a master whose eyes had been damaged in his youth by the harsh glare of snow and sun. The village doctors told him his sight would continue to deteriorate until darkness claimed his vision entirely. But this master knew something the doctors did not. He understood that true seeing originates not in the physical eyes, but in the deeper eye of consciousness itself. Night after night, he practiced what the ancient texts call the 10 jewel visualizations. These sacred techniques work by awakening the light that already exists within you, the luminous awareness that illuminates all experience. Your physical eyes are merely instruments of this deeper seeing. When you learn to cultivate this inner radiance through visualization, something remarkable happens. The eyes begin to remember their original clarity. The visual system starts to function with renewed vitality. The very neurons that process sight become revitalized by the healing power of focused consciousness. This is not fantasy or wishful thinking. This is based on the Buddhist understanding that consciousness and physical form are intimately connected. What you visualize with complete clarity and unwavering faith creates actual changes in your nervous system, in your cellular structure, in the delicate mechanisms that translate light into the miracle of sight. Modern science is beginning to validate what Buddhist masters have known for millennia. Visualization practices can literally rewire the brain, strengthen neural pathways, and restore function to systems that seemed permanently damaged. The first sacred visualization is called the technique of the radiant sun Buddha. Find a comfortable position where you can sit with your spine naturally erect. Close your eyes gently, as if you were preparing for the most restful sleep. Now, imagine a brilliant golden sun floating in the space behind your closed eyelids. This is not an ordinary sun, but a sun made of pure healing light, a sun infused with the compassionate awareness of all awakened beings. See this golden orb pulsing gently with warm, nurturing radiance. Each pulse sends waves of golden light through your entire visual system. Feel this healing energy flowing into your eyes, into the delicate muscles that control focus, into the intricate network of blood vessels that nourish your vision, into the optic nerves that carry visual information to your brain. This golden light carries within it the power to dissolve any blockages, to heal any damage, to restore any function that has been compromised. As you maintain this visualization, speak silently to your eyes, with the tenderness you would use with a beloved child. Thank them for all the beauty they have shown you. Acknowledge any strain or tiredness they may be carrying. Send them your love and your intention for their complete healing and renewal. This communication with your body is not mere imagination. Your cells respond to your thoughts and intentions. Your visual system can literally hear the love and healing you are offering. The second technique is known as the crystal lake of clarity. Imagine yourself sitting beside a perfectly still mountain lake. The water is so clear that you can see all the way to the bottom, even though the lake is incredibly deep. This lake represents the natural clarity of your consciousness, the pristine awareness that is your birthright. Now visualize this clear water flowing up from the lake and entering your eyes like the gentlest healing stream. Feel this crystal clear water washing through every part of your visual system. It flows through the cornea, the lens, the vitreous humor, cleansing away any cloudiness or debris. It bathes the retina with perfect clarity, energizing each photoreceptor cell. It flows along the optic nerves like a river of light, carrying away any inflammation or damage. As this crystal water moves through your eyes, it leaves behind perfect transparency, optimal function, and radiant health. With each breath, draw more of this healing clarity into your visual system. See your eyes becoming like perfectly clear windows, allowing light to pass through unobstructed. Visualize your vision becoming sharp, bright, and effortless. Hold this image with complete confidence, knowing that your consciousness has the power to manifest this healing reality. The third visualization employs the power of the emerald green healing Buddha. In Buddhist tradition, green is the color of healing and regeneration. Visualize before you a serene Buddha figure, glowing with the most beautiful emerald green light. This Buddha's eyes shine with infinite compassion and perfect clarity. As you gaze at this healing Buddha, imagine streams of emerald light flowing from his eyes directly into your own. This green healing light carries the concentrated power of nature's renewal. It contains the regenerative force of new spring leaves, the vital energy of growing plants, the restorative power of forest depth. Feel this emerald light penetrating every cell of your visual system. See it stimulating the growth of healthy new tissue, strengthening weakened muscles, improving circulation, and optimizing the delicate chemical processes that make vision possible. As you absorb this healing green light, feel your eyes becoming more relaxed, more comfortable, more alive. Visualize any tension in the eye muscles melting away like ice in warm sunshine. See your pupils responding with perfect balance to light and darkness. Imagine your eyes working together in perfect harmony, focusing effortlessly at any distance. The fourth technique is called the diamond white light purification. This practice works with the understanding that many vision problems are caused by accumulated stress, tension, and energetic blockages in the visual system. Diamond white light has the power to cut through these blockages like a laser beam of pure consciousness. Visualize a brilliant diamond floating in space before you. This diamond is made of the purest white light, more radiant than any earthly gem. From this diamond, beams of laser-precise white light extend directly to your eyes. Feel these beams of light scanning through your entire visual system, identifying any areas of tension, inflammation, or dysfunction. Now visualize these diamond light beams gently dissolving any problems they find. See the white light breaking up scar tissue, reducing inflammation, clearing blockages in blood vessels, and restoring proper nerve function. This is not harsh or violent healing, but gentle transformation like snow melting in spring sunshine. Feel your eyes becoming lighter, clearer, more flexible. Visualize your vision becoming sharp and precise, like looking through perfectly cut diamonds. The fifth visualization uses the power of the violet flame of transformation. Violet light has the highest frequency in the visible spectrum and is associated in Buddhist practice with transmutation and spiritual healing. Imagine a beautiful violet flame dancing in the space between your eyebrows, at the location of what is sometimes called the third eye. This violet flame is not hot or burning, but cool and soothing like moonlight. Feel this healing violet energy radiating outward from your forehead, flowing down to encompass both of your physical eyes. The violet flame has the power to transmute any negative patterns or damaged programming in your visual system. It can transform weakness into strength, dysfunction into perfect function, darkness into light. As you visualize this violet transformation flame working on your eyes, affirm silently that your vision is being restored to its original perfection. See the violet light rebuilding your visual system from the cellular level up, creating eyes that are even healthier and stronger than they were in your youth. Feel gratitude for this healing transformation, knowing that your consciousness has the power to make it real. The sixth technique is known as the rainbow bridge of perfect vision. This practice recognizes that healthy vision depends on the ability to perceive the full spectrum of light frequencies. Visualize a beautiful rainbow arc stretching across your inner visual field. This rainbow contains not just the 7 colors visible to ordinary sight, but infinite subtle variations of hue and frequency. Begin with red light at one end of the rainbow. See this warm, vital red light flowing into your eyes, energizing your circulation and bringing life force to every cell. Move through orange light, which brings warmth and flexibility to your eye muscles. Progress to yellow light, which stimulates optimal nerve function and electrical conductivity. Green light in the middle of the rainbow brings healing and regeneration. Continue with blue light, which brings peace and reduces any inflammation or irritation. Indigo light deepens your visual perception and strengthens your ability to see clearly in low light conditions. Finally, Violet light at the far end of the rainbow brings transformation and spiritual sight. Allow this full spectrum of healing light to saturate your entire visual system, restoring your ability to perceive the full richness of the visual world. The seventh visualization is called the golden honey flow of nourishment. This technique addresses the nutritional and circulatory needs of your visual system. Imagine thick golden honey flowing from the crown of your head down through your face and into your eyes. This is not ordinary honey, but honey made of concentrated life force and healing energy. Feel this golden honey flowing through all the tiny blood vessels that nourish your eyes. See it bringing perfect nutrition to every cell, carrying away any waste products or toxins. This golden flow strengthens your retinal cells, lubricates your eye muscles, and maintains perfect pressure within your eyeballs. As this nourishing honey flows through your visual system, feel your eyes becoming more comfortable, more relaxed, and more vital. The eighth technique employs the power of the sacred mountain of stability. Many vision problems are related to instability in the visual system, eyes that don't work well together, focus that fluctuates, or visual perception that is unsteady. Visualize yourself as a majestic mountain, completely stable and unshakable. Your eyes are like twin peaks on this mountain, perfectly balanced and unwavering in their clarity. Feel the solid, stable energy of the mountain flowing through your visual system. See your eye muscles becoming perfectly coordinated, working together with the precision of a finely tuned instrument. Visualize your focus becoming rock steady, able to maintain clear vision at any distance for any length of time. This mountain stability brings your entire visual system into perfect alignment and coordination. The ninth visualization is known as the ocean wave rhythm of relaxation. This technique addresses one of the major causes of vision problems: chronic tension and strain in the visual system. Imagine gentle ocean waves lapping at the shore of your consciousness. These waves carry with them the most profound relaxation and peace. Feel these gentle waves washing over your eyes in a soothing rhythm. With each wave, more tension flows away. With each retreat, deeper relaxation flows in. Your eye muscles soften like seaweed swaying in gentle currents. Your eyelids become heavy and peaceful. Your entire face relaxes as the ocean rhythm brings perfect ease to your visual system. The 10th and final technique is the crown of light integration. This powerful visualization brings together all the healing energies you have cultivated in the previous practices. Imagine a crown of brilliant white light appearing above your head. This crown has 10 jewels, each one representing one of the visualization techniques you have learned. Feel the light from this crown streaming down through the top of your head, gathering power as it flows through your brain and into your visual cortex. This integrated healing light contains all the benefits of every technique. The vital energy of the sun, the clarity of crystal water, the healing power of emerald light, the purification of diamond radiance, the transformation of violet flame, the full spectrum nourishment of rainbow light, the golden flow of perfect nutrition, the stability of the sacred mountain, and the relaxation of ocean waves. As this crown light flows into your eyes, affirm with complete confidence that your vision is now restored to its original perfection. See your eyes functioning with optimal clarity, comfort, and ease. Feel grateful for this healing transformation, knowing that you have activated your consciousness's innate power to heal and regenerate. These 10 sacred visualizations work by awakening the healing intelligence that already exists within your body-mind system. Your eyes are capable of far more healing and regeneration than you might imagine. By consistently practicing these techniques, you create powerful healing intentions that your nervous system translates into actual physical improvements. The key to success with these practices is regularity and faith. Set aside time each day to practice these visualizations, preferably at the same time each day to establish a healing rhythm. Begin with just a few minutes of practice and gradually build up to longer sessions as you become more comfortable with the techniques. Some people notice improvements in their vision within days of beginning these practices. Others find that the changes come more gradually, over weeks or months. Remember that true healing often happens in layers. Your visual system may have accumulated years of strain, tension, and dysfunction. Be patient with the healing process, knowing that each visualization session is contributing to your ultimate restoration of perfect vision. Trust in the power of your consciousness to create positive change in your physical body. As you master these 10 visualization techniques, you may find that your practice naturally deepens and becomes more spontaneous. You might begin to see healing light flowing to your eyes throughout the day, not just during formal practice sessions. You might find yourself naturally relaxing your visual system in stressful situations, or instinctively nourishing your eyes with golden healing energy. This is the sign that these practices are becoming integrated into your being, that you are developing what Buddhist masters call effortless healing awareness. When this happens, the restoration of your perfect vision becomes not just a goal you are working toward, but a natural expression of your awakened consciousness. The ancient Buddhist masters who developed these techniques understood that true healing happens when we align our individual consciousness with the universal healing intelligence that flows through all existence. When you practice these visualizations with complete faith and dedication, you become a channel for this infinite healing power. Your eyes become not just organs of physical sight, but windows through which the light of perfect awareness shines into the world. The deeper mysteries of these ancient visualization practices reveal themselves only to those who approach them with the reverence and dedication of a true seeker. As you begin to establish a regular practice with the 10 sacred techniques, you will discover that they are far more than simple mental exercises. They are doorways into the profound understanding that consciousness and physical reality are not separate phenomena, but different expressions of the same underlying truth. In the remote monasteries of ancient Burma, there lived a lineage of monks who specialized in what they called the inner light teachings. These masters understood that every human being is born with what they termed the original clear vision, a state of perfect sight that exists not just in the physical eyes, but in the very essence of awareness itself. They discovered that most vision problems arise not from defects in the eye structure, but from a forgetting of this original clarity, a clouding of the inner light that naturally illuminates all perception. The practice of Buddhist visualization for vision restoration works by reawakening this inner light, by remembering the perfect sight that is your birthright. When you engage in these sacred techniques with complete sincerity and unwavering faith, you are not trying to fix something that is broken. You are remembering something that was never truly lost. You are polishing the mirror of consciousness until it reflects the perfect clarity that has always been present. This understanding transforms your entire approach to the healing process. Instead of struggling against your current vision challenges, you begin to work with the natural healing intelligence that flows through every cell of your body. Instead of focusing on what is wrong with your eyes, you begin to cultivate a deep appreciation for the miraculous gift of sight itself. This shift in perspective creates the optimal conditions for profound healing to occur. The ancient texts speak of 3 levels of vision restoration through these practices. The first level involves the improvement of your current physical eyesight. Many practitioners find that their prescription becomes weaker, their eyes feel more comfortable, and their visual clarity increases significantly. This happens because the visualization techniques reduce strain and tension in the visual system while improving circulation and nerve function. The second level involves the development of what Buddhist masters call enhanced ordinary vision. This is sight that functions far better than what most people consider normal. Colors become more vivid and saturated. Details that were previously invisible become clearly apparent. Night vision improves dramatically. The ability to focus quickly at different distances becomes effortless. This enhanced vision results from the optimization of your existing visual hardware through the power of concentrated consciousness. The third level, achieved by dedicated long-term practitioners, is the awakening of what the ancient teachings call divine sight or Buddha vision. This involves the ability to perceive subtle energies, auras, and even past and future events through the activated third eye center. While this level may seem mystical or impossible, it represents the natural flowering of consciousness when the inner light is fully awakened through consistent practice. To understand how these visualizations create such profound changes, it helps to know something about the Buddhist view of the relationship between mind and body. In Western thinking, consciousness is often viewed as a product of the brain, something that emerges from complex neural activity. But Buddhist philosophy teaches that consciousness is the fundamental ground of all existence, and that physical forms, including the human body, arise within this field of awareness. From this perspective, your thoughts, emotions, and mental images are not merely subjective experiences happening inside your head. They are creative forces that actively shape your physical reality. When you visualize healing light flowing into your eyes with complete clarity and unwavering conviction, you are directing the creative power of consciousness to manifest positive changes in your visual system. This is not wishful thinking or placebo effect. This is the application of fundamental spiritual laws that govern the relationship between consciousness and form. The key to successful visualization practice lies in understanding what the Buddhist masters call the 4 foundations of manifestation. The first foundation is clarity. Your visualizations must be vivid, detailed, and specific. Don't just imagine a vague sense of light in your eyes. See exactly what kind of light it is, what color it radiates, how it moves through your visual system, and what changes it creates as it works. The more clearly you can visualize the healing process, the more powerfully it will manifest in your physical experience. The second foundation is stability. Your ability to maintain consistent focus on your visualization without distraction determines how effectively the healing energy can penetrate your system. In the beginning, your mind may wander frequently during practice. This is natural and expected. The key is to gently return your attention to the visualization each time you notice your mind has drifted. With consistent practice, your ability to sustain focused visualization for extended periods will naturally develop. The third foundation is emotional engagement. Your visualizations must be infused with genuine feeling and belief. Simply going through the motions of imagining healing light without any emotional involvement will produce minimal results. You must feel gratitude for your eyes, love for your body's healing capacity, and complete confidence in the power of consciousness to create positive change. When your heart is fully engaged in the visualization process, your entire being becomes aligned with the healing intention. The fourth foundation is letting go. After completing your visualization practice, you must release any attachment to specific results or timelines for healing. This might seem contradictory after putting so much focused intention into the practice, but it reflects a profound spiritual truth. Healing happens most effectively when you combine maximum effort with complete surrender. You do everything you can to direct healing energy toward your eyes, and then you trust completely in the wisdom of your body and the intelligence of life itself to manifest the healing in the perfect way and timing. Understanding these 4 foundations will help you approach your visualization practice with the proper attitude and technique. But there is another element that the ancient masters considered even more important than technical proficiency. They called it the pure heart of compassion. This refers to the motivation behind your healing practice. If you are visualizing restoration of your vision primarily for personal convenience or vanity, the healing power available to you will be limited. But if your motivation includes genuine compassion for your body, gratitude for the gift of sight, and a desire to use your restored vision in service of others' well-being, you tap into an inexhaustible source of healing energy. The universe responds powerfully to intentions that are rooted in love rather than fear, in service rather than selfishness. This doesn't mean you need to become a perfect saint before your eyes can heal. It simply means that cultivating genuine care and appreciation for your body, and considering how your restored vision might allow you to be of greater service to others, will significantly amplify the effectiveness of your practice. Many practitioners find it helpful to begin each visualization session by taking a few moments to cultivate the proper motivation. You might silently reflect on all the beautiful things your eyes have allowed you to see throughout your life. Consider the faces of loved ones, magnificent sunsets, the pages of books that have inspired you, works of art that have moved your soul. Feel genuine gratitude for the gift of sight, even if your vision is currently impaired. Then extend your appreciation to your physical eyes themselves. These delicate organs have been faithfully serving you every waking moment of your life, processing millions of bits of visual information each second, allowing you to navigate the world with ease and safety. Thank your eyes for their dedicated service and acknowledge any strain or tiredness they may be experiencing with the same tenderness you would offer to a beloved friend who has been working very hard. Next, cultivate a sincere intention to use your restored perfect vision in ways that benefit others. Perhaps you want to see your grandchildren's faces more clearly, or to continue reading and learning so you can share wisdom with others. Maybe you wish to drive safely so you're not a hazard to other drivers, or to appreciate the beauty of nature more fully so you can describe it to those who cannot see. When your healing intention includes genuine care for others' well-being, you align yourself with the compassionate energy of the universe itself. Once you have established this foundation of proper motivation, you can begin working with more advanced aspects of the visualization techniques. The ancient masters discovered that different colors of healing light work most effectively at different times of day and for different types of vision problems. Understanding these subtle correspondences can significantly enhance your results. Golden sunlight visualizations are most powerful when practiced in the morning, ideally within the first hour after sunrise. The energy of the rising sun naturally resonates with themes of renewal, fresh beginnings, and the awakening of dormant potentials. Morning golden light visualizations are particularly effective for general vision improvement, reducing overall eye strain, and increasing visual energy and alertness throughout the day. Green healing light works most effectively during midday hours when the sun is strongest. The vibrant energy of full sunlight combines beautifully with the healing frequency of green to promote cellular regeneration and repair. Midday green light visualizations are especially beneficial for conditions involving inflammation, irritation, or damage to eye tissues. The regenerative power of green light is amplified by the peak solar energy available during these hours. Blue and violet healing lights are most potent during evening hours as the sun begins to set. These cooler, more subtle frequencies resonate with the natural winding down of daily activities and the preparation for rest and restoration. Evening blue and violet light visualizations are particularly effective for reducing tension and strain in the eye muscles, promoting deep relaxation of the visual system, and preparing the eyes for optimal healing during sleep. Crystal clear light and diamond white light can be visualized effectively at any time of day, but many practitioners find them most powerful during the quiet hours of early morning or late evening, when the mind is naturally more peaceful and focused. These pure forms of light work on the deepest levels of the visual system, clearing energetic blockages and restoring optimal function to the most subtle aspects of sight. The lunar cycle also influences the effectiveness of different visualization practices. During the new moon phase, when lunar energy is at its most receptive and inward-turning, visualizations that focus on releasing old patterns of visual dysfunction work particularly well. This is an ideal time to practice the diamond white light purification technique, using the receptive energy of the new moon to clear away accumulated stress and damage in your visual system. During the waxing moon phase, as lunar energy builds toward fullness, visualizations that focus on building and strengthening work most effectively. This is the perfect time to practice techniques like the golden honey flow of nourishment and the sacred mountain of stability, using the building energy of the waxing moon to enhance and optimize your visual capabilities. The full moon brings peak lunar energy that can powerfully amplify any visualization practice. Full moon nights are especially potent times for the crown of light integration technique, where you work with all 10 healing energies simultaneously. The intense lunar energy available during full moon helps to integrate and stabilize the healing changes you have been cultivating through your practice. During the waning moon phase, as lunar energy decreases and becomes more releasing in nature, visualizations that focus on letting go of limitations and restrictions work most powerfully. This is an excellent time to practice the ocean wave rhythm of relaxation technique, using the releasing energy of the waning moon to dissolve chronic tension patterns in your visual system. Understanding these natural rhythms allows you to work in harmony with cosmic energies rather than against them. You don't need to restrict your practice only to optimal times, but when possible, aligning your visualizations with supportive natural energies can significantly enhance your results. The advanced practitioner also learns to work with what the ancient texts call the 7 gates of vision. These refer to 7 specific energy centers or focal points within the visual system where healing energy can be directed for maximum effectiveness. By learning to channel your visualization practices through these gates, you can address specific vision problems with surgical precision. The first gate is located at the very surface of the cornea. Directing healing light to this gate can improve conditions related to the eye's ability to focus light properly, including astigmatism and corneal irregularities. When visualizing healing energy entering through this gate, imagine the light creating perfect smoothness and clarity in the corneal surface. The second gate is located within the lens of the eye. This is where you direct healing energy to address presbyopia, cataracts, and other conditions affecting the eye's ability to change focus. Visualize healing light entering this gate and creating perfect flexibility, transparency, and focusing ability in the crystalline lens. The third gate is located in the vitreous humor, the clear gel that fills the main chamber of the eye. Directing healing light to this gate can help with floaters, cloudiness, and other conditions affecting the clarity of this important eye structure. Visualize the healing light creating perfect transparency and optimal pressure within this space. The fourth gate is located at the retina, particularly the macula, where central vision is processed. This is where you direct healing energy to address macular degeneration, retinal damage, and conditions affecting detailed central vision. Visualize healing light energizing and regenerating the delicate photoreceptor cells in this crucial area. The fifth gate is located along the optic nerve pathways. Directing healing energy to this gate can help with glaucoma, optic nerve damage, and conditions affecting the transmission of visual information from the eye to the brain. Visualize healing light flowing along these neural pathways like streams of pure electricity, restoring optimal nerve function. The sixth gate is located in the visual cortex of the brain, where visual information is processed and interpreted. Healing energy directed to this gate can improve visual processing speed, pattern recognition, and the brain's ability to interpret visual information accurately. Visualize healing light illuminating this brain region with perfect clarity and optimal function. The seventh gate is located at the third eye center between the eyebrows. This gate governs the deeper aspects of vision, including intuition, inner sight, and the ability to perceive subtle energies. Directing healing light to this gate enhances not only physical vision but also inner wisdom and spiritual perception. Advanced practitioners learn to move healing light systematically through all 7 gates during their visualization sessions, creating comprehensive healing that addresses every level of the visual system. This gate-by-gate approach allows you to customize your practice to address your specific vision challenges, while also promoting overall visual health and optimization. As your practice with the 7 gates of vision deepens, you begin to discover something remarkable that the ancient masters knew but rarely spoke about directly. Each gate is not merely a physical location within your visual system, but a doorway into increasingly subtle dimensions of sight itself. When you learn to open these gates in proper sequence through dedicated visualization practice, you don't just heal your physical eyes. You awaken layers of perception that most people never even imagine exist. This deeper understanding transforms your relationship with the entire healing process. You begin to realize that what you call vision problems are often symptoms of disconnection from these more subtle aspects of sight. When the 7 gates are properly aligned and flowing with healing energy, your eyes naturally function with the clarity and efficiency they were designed to possess. This is why some practitioners experience what seem like miraculous improvements in their vision through these ancient techniques. They are not performing magic, they are simply restoring the natural harmony that allows optimal visual function to emerge. The monastery records from ancient Tibet speak of masters who could see clearly for hundreds of miles across mountain ranges, who could perceive the health of plants and animals through their visual aura, who could even glimpse probable future events through the awakened third eye center. While these abilities might sound fantastical to modern minds, they represent the natural flowering of human visual potential when all 7 gates are fully opened and integrated. But you don't need to achieve such extraordinary abilities for your practice to be worthwhile. Even partial opening of these inner gates creates profound improvements in ordinary vision. Your eyes become more comfortable, your focus more stable, your color perception more vivid. You find that you can read for longer periods without strain, see clearly in low light conditions, and maintain sharp focus at all distances with effortless ease. The key to working effectively with the 7 gates lies in understanding what Buddhist teachings call the principle of gradual illumination. Just as you wouldn't stare directly into the sun without gradually adapting your eyes to bright light, you shouldn't attempt to force open all 7 gates simultaneously. The visual system needs time to adjust to increased levels of healing energy and enhanced perception. Begin your gate work by focusing on the first 3 gates for several weeks or even months, depending on how your system responds. These outer gates, governing the cornea, lens, and vitreous humor, correspond to the most physical aspects of vision. As you direct healing light through these gates consistently, you will likely notice improvements in basic visual functions like focusing ability, clarity of sight, and overall eye comfort. The first gate, located at the corneal surface, responds particularly well to visualizations involving crystal clear mountain streams. Imagine pure, clean water flowing gently over the surface of your eyes, washing away any irregularities or cloudiness. See this water becoming increasingly crystal clear until it transforms into liquid light that creates perfect smoothness and transparency in your corneal tissue. Hold this visualization steady for at least 5 minutes, feeling the healing energy creating optimal refraction of incoming light. For the second gate within the lens, visualize a skilled craftsman polishing a perfect optical lens. See this master craftsman, who represents your body's innate healing intelligence, carefully working on your eye's lens with infinite patience and precision. Watch as the lens becomes increasingly flexible, transparent, and perfectly shaped. Feel your eye's ability to change focus becoming more effortless and precise. This visualization works particularly well when combined with gentle eye movement exercises that encourage lens flexibility. The third gate in the vitreous humor responds beautifully to visualizations of clear, still mountain lakes. Imagine the interior of your eye as a pristine alpine lake, perfectly clear and undisturbed. Any floaters or cloudiness that may be present dissolve like morning mist in sunlight. See this inner space becoming increasingly transparent until it's like looking through the clearest glass. Feel the perfect pressure and circulation within this space, supporting optimal eye function. Once you have established a strong foundation by working with the first 3 gates for at least a month, you can begin incorporating the 4th and 5th gates into your practice. These middle gates govern the more complex aspects of visual processing and nerve function. They require greater concentration and typically take longer to show noticeable results, but their benefits are profound and long-lasting. The 4th gate at the retinal level is where many of the most serious vision conditions manifest, including macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, and glaucoma retinopathy, and various forms of retinal damage. Working with this gate requires patience and absolute faith in your body's capacity for regeneration. The retinal tissue may seem fixed and unchangeable, but Buddhist understanding recognizes that all physical forms are constantly in flux, constantly regenerating, constantly responding to the creative power of consciousness. Visualize the retinal area as a garden where millions of tiny flowers represent the photoreceptor cells. See yourself as a master gardener tending this precious garden with infinite care and love. Some flowers may appear wilted or damaged, representing compromised photoreceptors. Direct streams of golden healing light to these damaged areas, watching as the wilted flowers gradually return to vibrant health. New flowers begin to bloom where none existed before. The entire garden becomes increasingly lush and vital, capable of processing visual information with extraordinary clarity and precision. This retinal garden visualization is particularly powerful when combined with actual exposure to gentle natural light. Spend time each day looking at natural scenes with soft, indirect lighting. Allow your eyes to rest on green vegetation, flowing water, and other naturally healing visual environments. This combination of inner visualization with supportive outer experience accelerates the regeneration of retinal tissue. The 5th gate along the optic nerve pathways requires understanding of these neural structures as rivers of light carrying visual information from the eyes to the brain. In conditions like glaucoma, these rivers become blocked or restricted, preventing the free flow of visual data. Your visualization practice for this gate involves seeing these neural pathways as perfectly clear channels through which light flows like electricity through superconducting wires. Imagine any blockages, inflammation, or damage in these pathways being gently dissolved by streams of pure healing light. See the optic nerves becoming increasingly efficient at transmitting visual information, like fiber optic cables carrying perfect signals. Visualize the pressure within your eyes normalizing to optimal levels, allowing unrestricted nerve function. This optic nerve visualization is especially effective when practiced in a completely dark room, allowing your nervous system to focus entirely on the inner experience of light. After several months of consistent work with the first 5 gates, you can begin exploring the 6th and 7th gates, which govern the higher functions of vision and perception. These inner gates often produce the most dramatic and unexpected results, but they also require the greatest dedication and spiritual maturity to access effectively. The 6th gate in the visual cortex represents your brain's ability to interpret and make sense of visual information. Many people who believe they have eye problems actually have optimal eye function, but their brain's visual processing centers are not working efficiently. Stress, fatigue, and information overload can significantly impact how well your brain processes the visual data your eyes provide. Visualizing healing energy flowing into the visual cortex is like upgrading the software that runs your visual perception. Imagine the visual areas of your brain as a highly sophisticated computer system that processes millions of calculations per second. See streams of golden light flowing into these brain regions, optimizing their function, clearing out unnecessary data, and enhancing their processing speed and accuracy. This brain-focused visualization often produces improvements in reading speed, pattern recognition, depth perception, and the ability to track moving objects. Many practitioners report that colors become more vibrant, details appear sharper, and their overall visual experience becomes richer and more nuanced after working consistently with the sixth gate. The seventh gate at the third eye center opens doorways into perception that go far beyond ordinary sight. This ancient seat of wisdom and intuition has been recognized by spiritual traditions around the world as the source of inner vision and deeper knowing. When healing energy flows through this gate, many practitioners begin to perceive subtle energies, auras around living beings, and even glimpses of past and future events. But don't approach the seventh gate with the goal of developing psychic abilities. These phenomena arise naturally when consciousness is purified through dedicated practice. The real gift of the seventh gate is the development of inner wisdom that guides you toward choices and actions that support your highest well-being and the well-being of others. Visualize the third eye center as a beautiful lotus flower with countless petals, each one representing a different aspect of inner wisdom. As healing light flows into this center, watch the lotus gradually opening, revealing deeper and deeper levels of luminous awareness. Feel this awakening wisdom beginning to guide your daily life, helping you see situations more clearly, understand people more deeply, and make decisions from a place of centered knowing rather than reactive emotion. The integration of all 7 gates represents the culmination of the Buddhist vision restoration practice. When healing energy flows freely through all 7 gates in proper sequence and balance, your entire visual system functions as a unified, optimized whole. This creates not just improved eyesight, but enhanced visual intelligence, greater appreciation for beauty, and deeper spiritual insight through the gift of sight. Advanced practitioners often describe experiencing what they call unified field vision, where the boundaries between seer and seen begin to dissolve. In these moments of expanded awareness, you recognize that consciousness itself is what enables vision to occur. The eyes are simply instruments through which the infinite awareness that you truly are experiences the miracle of sight. This recognition profoundly transforms your relationship with any vision challenges you may face. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of eye disease or genetic limitations, you begin to understand that your current visual experience is simply one temporary expression of your consciousness. Through dedicated practice with the 7 gates, you can guide consciousness toward expressing itself as perfect, healthy vision. The ancient texts emphasize that this work requires what they call the 3 pillars of successful practice. The first pillar is unwavering faith in your body's capacity for healing and regeneration. This faith must be based not on blind belief, but on direct experience of the changes that occur through consistent visualization practice. Start with simple techniques and gradually work up to more advanced practices as you build confidence in the process. The second pillar is compassionate patience with the natural timing of healing. The body has its own wisdom about how quickly changes can be integrated without creating stress or imbalance. Some improvements may appear within days of beginning practice, while deeper transformations may take months or even years to fully manifest. Trust the process and avoid the impatience that can actually interfere with healing. The third pillar is dedicated consistency in your daily practice. Sporadic visualization sessions produce sporadic results. The consciousness-body connection strengthens through regular focused attention. Even 15 minutes of sincere visualization practice each day will produce far better results than occasional hour-long sessions when you happen to remember. Many practitioners find it helpful to establish a specific time and place for their vision restoration practice. This creates what Buddhist teachings call a sacred container for your healing work. Choose a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, preferably facing east to align with the energy of the rising sun. Use the same cushion or chair each day, creating a physical anchor for your practice. Begin each session by taking several deep, slow breaths to center yourself in the present moment. Acknowledge any stress or tension you may be carrying and consciously release it with your exhales. Set your sincere intention to use this practice time for the healing and restoration of perfect vision, not just for your own benefit, but so you can see the world more clearly and serve others more effectively. As you progress in your practice, pay careful attention to the subtle changes occurring in your visual experience. Keep a practice journal where you record not just improvements in your eyesight, but changes in how you perceive and relate to the visual world. Many practitioners report increased appreciation for natural beauty, greater sensitivity to color and light, and enhanced ability to see the goodness in other people. These shifts in perception often prove to be as valuable as improvements in visual acuity. When your practice awakens the deeper aspects of sight, you begin to see life itself more clearly. Problems that once seemed overwhelming become manageable challenges. Relationships that were difficult become opportunities for greater understanding and compassion. The entire world begins to appear more beautiful, more meaningful, and more worthy of your care and attention. This is the true gift of the Buddhist approach to vision restoration. You don't just heal your eyes. You awaken to the sacred nature of sight itself and your role as a conscious witness to the infinite beauty and wonder that surrounds you in every moment. This awakening to the sacred nature of sight leads us into what the ancient masters considered the most profound aspect of vision restoration practice: the understanding that true healing occurs not through fighting against your current visual limitations, but through falling in love with the miracle of sight itself. When you approach your eyes with the reverence you would offer to the most precious temple, when you regard each moment of vision as a gift beyond measure, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your entire visual system responds to this love by remembering its original perfection. In the hidden valleys of ancient Kashmir, there lived a lineage of Buddhist practitioners who developed what they called the Heart Sutra of perfect vision. These teachings were based on the revolutionary understanding that the quality of your emotional relationship with your eyes determines the speed and completeness of your healing far more than the specific techniques you use. A practitioner filled with frustration, impatience, or fear about their vision will struggle to achieve lasting results, no matter how perfectly they perform the visualizations. But someone who approaches their practice with genuine love, gratitude, and wonder can experience profound healing even with simple techniques. This insight transforms everything about how you engage with vision restoration practice. Instead of approaching your eyes as malfunctioning machines that need to be fixed, you begin to relate to them as beloved friends who have been faithfully serving you throughout your entire life. Every moment they have been open, they have been offering you the incomparable gift of visual experience. Every sunrise they have shown you, every face of a loved one they have revealed, every word they have allowed you to read represents an act of profound service that deserves your deepest appreciation. Consider for a moment the staggering complexity of what your eyes accomplish effortlessly throughout each day. They process millions of photons of light every second, constantly adjusting focus as your attention shifts from near to far objects, automatically regulating the amount of light entering through the pupils, continuously producing fresh tears to keep the corneal surface optimally moist, coordinating with intricate precision so that both eyes work together to create the seamless visual experience you take for granted. Even if your vision is currently impaired, your eyes are still performing countless miraculous functions every moment. They are still translating electromagnetic radiation into the neural signals that become your visual world. They are still providing you with spatial information that allows you to navigate safely through your environment. They are still offering you access to beauty, to the faces of those you love, to the words that convey wisdom and inspiration. When you begin each visualization practice by spending several minutes in genuine appreciation for these ongoing miracles, you create the emotional foundation that allows deeper healing to occur. This gratitude isn't a technique or strategy for getting better results. It's a recognition of truth that naturally opens your heart and aligns your consciousness with the healing forces that are always available. The Kashmir masters discovered that this appreciative awareness could be cultivated through what they called the 5 contemplations of sacred sight. These contemplations are designed to be practiced slowly and meditatively, allowing each insight to penetrate deeply into your understanding before moving to the next. The first contemplation focuses on the gift of light itself. Sit quietly with your eyes closed and reflect on the extraordinary phenomenon of light. This electromagnetic radiation travels at incredible speeds across vast distances of space to reach your eyes. The light touching your eyelids right now may have originated in the sun 8 minutes ago, or it may have traveled for years from distant stars. When you open your eyes, this light carries with it information about the world around you, creating the visual experience that seems so natural and effortless. Contemplate the miracle that your eyes can detect and interpret this light, transforming it into the rich tapestry of visual experience that forms such a crucial part of your daily life. Feel genuine wonder at the fact that consciousness can interface with electromagnetic radiation to create the phenomenon you call sight. This is not something to take for granted, but something to regard with the deepest amazement and gratitude. The second contemplation concerns the gift of color. Open your eyes and look around you, paying attention to the incredible variety of colors visible in your environment. Even if your color vision is impaired, you can still perceive different qualities of light and shadow, different tones and contrasts that create the visual richness of your world. Reflect on the fact that color doesn't actually exist in the external world. There are only different wavelengths of electromagnetic radiation. Color is something your visual system creates internally, a subjective experience that has no counterpart in physical reality. The redness of a rose, the blueness of the sky, the golden quality of sunlight are all creations of your consciousness, miracles of perception that transform objective wavelengths into subjective beauty. Feel appreciation for your brain's capacity to create this incredible palette of color experience. Even the most advanced technology cannot replicate the subtlety and richness of color perception that your visual system generates effortlessly. When you truly contemplate this gift, you begin to see that you are walking around inside a masterpiece of perception that you are continuously creating through the marriage of consciousness and light. The third contemplation explores the gift of depth and dimension. Close your eyes and then open them, paying attention to how effortlessly you perceive the three-dimensional structure of your environment. Notice how objects appear closer or farther away, how you can instantly judge distances and spatial relationships, how your visual system creates the sense of depth that allows you to navigate through space with confidence. This depth perception is actually an extraordinary feat of neural computation. Your brain takes the slightly different images from each eye and uses these disparities to calculate distance and spatial relationships. It combines this information with clues like perspective, shading, and relative size to construct a detailed three-dimensional map of your surroundings. Contemplate the sophistication of this process and feel gratitude for your brain's ability to perform these incredibly complex calculations instantly and unconsciously. Without this gift of depth perception, the world would appear flat and navigation would become extremely difficult. Even if your depth perception is currently compromised, acknowledge and appreciate whatever spatial awareness you do possess. The fourth contemplation focuses on the gift of movement perception. Watch something move in your environment, perhaps leaves blowing in the wind, cars passing by, or people walking. Notice how effortlessly your eyes track moving objects, how automatically they adjust to follow motion while maintaining clear focus. This ability to perceive and track movement involves extraordinarily sophisticated neural processing. Your brain must predict where a moving object will be by the time visual information reaches consciousness. Since there's always a slight delay in neural processing, it must coordinate the movement of both eyes precisely to maintain binocular focus on moving targets. It must distinguish between movement of objects in the environment and movement that results from your own head and eye movements. Feel appreciation for this remarkable gift that allows you to enjoy watching birds in flight. Appreciate the grace of dancers, follow the path of falling leaves, and safely navigate through environments where people and objects are constantly in motion. This capacity for movement perception connects you dynamically with the ever-changing flow of life around you. The fifth contemplation concerns the gift of recognition and meaning. Look at a familiar object, perhaps a photograph of a loved one, a favorite book, or a meaningful piece of art. Notice how instantly your visual system not only registers the patterns of light and shadow, but recognizes what you are seeing and connects it with memories, emotions, and meaning. This recognition involves accessing stored visual memories and matching current input with past experiences. Your brain must sort through countless stored images to identify what you're looking at, often accomplishing this recognition in milliseconds. But more than just identification occurs. Your visual system connects what you see with emotional associations, personal memories, and conceptual understanding. Contemplate the profound gift of being able to see not just patterns of light, but meaning, beauty, and significance. When you look at the face of someone you love, you don't just see a configuration of features, you see love itself reflected back to you. When you observe a beautiful sunset, you don't just detect wavelengths of light. You experience wonder, peace, and connection with the natural world. These 5 contemplations, practiced regularly before your visualization sessions, create what the Kashmir masters called the grateful heart, the emotional foundation that allows profound healing to occur. When your practice emerges from genuine appreciation rather than desperate need, when it flows from love rather than fear, your entire visual system responds with its innate capacity for regeneration and optimization. This appreciative awareness also transforms your relationship with any current visual limitations you may be experiencing. Instead of seeing these challenges as enemies to be defeated, you begin to understand them as teachers that have drawn your attention to the miraculous gift of sight. Without some degree of visual difficulty, you might have continued taking your eyes for granted throughout your entire life, never developing the deep appreciation that now motivates your healing practice. Many practitioners discover that their vision problems have served as gateways into a much richer relationship with the visual world. Colors become more vivid and meaningful after you've feared losing the ability to see them. Details appear more precious when you've experienced them becoming unclear. The faces of loved ones become more beautiful when you've worried about no longer being able to see them clearly. This paradoxical gift hidden within visual challenges explains why some of the most dedicated vision restoration practitioners continue their practice long after their eyesight has returned to normal. They have discovered that the techniques do far more than restore functional vision. They awaken appreciation for the miracle of sight itself, leading to a quality of visual experience that is richer and more meaningful than most people ever imagine possible. The deeper levels of practice involve learning to see with what the ancient texts call Buddha eyes, the compassionate awareness that recognizes the sacred nature of all visual experience. When you develop Buddha eyes, you begin to see the inherent beauty and worth in everything your gaze encounters. Difficult people reveal their hidden goodness. Ordinary objects radiate their own subtle beauty. Even challenging situations become opportunities to practice seeing with greater clarity and compassion. This transformation of perception often produces improvements in vision that go far beyond mere restoration of normal function. Practitioners frequently report that colors become more saturated and vibrant than they remember from their youth. Details appear sharper and clearer. Night vision improves significantly. The ability to see at great distances increases dramatically. These enhancements occur because the practice doesn't just heal damaged visual function. It optimizes the entire visual system, allowing it to operate closer to its true potential. The key to accessing these deeper benefits lies in understanding what Buddhist psychology calls the interdependence of inner and outer vision. Your capacity to see clearly in the external world is directly related to the clarity of your inner vision, your ability to perceive situations, relationships, and yourself with wisdom and compassion. When you work on developing clearer physical sight through visualization practice, you simultaneously cultivate clearer insight into the nature of reality itself. This is why the most advanced vision restoration techniques always include practices for developing inner wisdom alongside methods for healing the physical eyes. You learn to see your own thoughts and emotions with greater clarity, recognizing which mental patterns support your well-being and which create unnecessary suffering. You develop the ability to perceive other people's actions and motivations with less judgment and greater understanding. You begin to see through the surface appearances of situations to the deeper lessons and opportunities they contain. This integration of outer and inner vision work creates a positive feedback loop that accelerates healing at all levels. As your physical vision improves, you feel more confident and optimistic, emotions that support further healing. As your inner wisdom develops, you make better choices about diet, lifestyle, and stress management, factors that significantly impact eye health. As you learn to see yourself and others with greater compassion, the emotional stress that contributes to many vision problems naturally diminishes. The ancient masters understood that sustainable healing must address the whole person, not just the specific symptoms that brought someone to the practice. This holistic approach explains why Buddhist vision restoration techniques often produce benefits that extend far beyond improved eyesight. Practitioners commonly report better overall health, deeper relationships, greater creativity, and increased sense of life purpose as side effects of their vision healing practice. This comprehensive transformation occurs because consciousness is fundamentally unified. When you direct healing awareness toward any aspect of your being with genuine love and skillful technique, the benefits naturally radiate throughout your entire system. Your eyes are not isolated organs separate from the rest of your body and mind. They are integral parts of the unified field of consciousness that you are, intimately connected to every other aspect of your health and well-being. Understanding this interconnectedness helps you approach your practice with appropriate patience and realistic expectations. Deep healing takes time because it involves transforming patterns that may have been developing for years or even decades, but every moment of sincere practice contributes to positive changes throughout your entire being, even when specific improvements in vision are not yet apparent. The most important insight from the Kashmir Masters was that healing is not something you achieve through effort and struggle, but something you allow through love and surrender. When you can genuinely love your eyes exactly as they are right now, appreciating their faithful service while holding a clear intention for their optimization, you create the perfect conditions for profound transformation to occur naturally. This profound understanding of healing through love and surrender brings us to what may be the most revolutionary aspect of Buddhist vision restoration: the recognition that your eyes are not merely biological instruments, but sacred gateways through which the infinite consciousness that you truly are experiences the miracle of form and beauty. When this deeper truth penetrates your understanding, everything about your healing practice transforms. You are no longer trying to fix broken machinery. You are awakening dormant capabilities that have always existed within the very fabric of your being. The monastery records from ancient Bhutan speak of practitioners who discovered what they called the secret of the lotus eyes. These masters understood that just as a lotus flower emerges from muddy water to bloom in pristine beauty, your perfect vision can emerge from whatever challenges currently seem to cloud your sight. The mud is not the enemy of the lotus. It is the very substance from which the flower draws its nourishment. In the same way, your current visual difficulties are not obstacles to perfect sight. They are the raw material from which restored vision emerges. This perspective completely eliminates the adversarial relationship that most people develop with their vision problems. Instead of fighting against blurry vision, floaters, or difficulty focusing, you learn to work with these experiences as temporary expressions of consciousness that can be transformed through patient, loving attention. The energy you once spent in resistance and frustration becomes available for actual healing work. The Bhutanese masters developed what they considered the most powerful technique in their entire system of vision restoration. They called it the practice of the infinite eye, and it was taught only to students who had demonstrated complete dedication to the path of healing through love rather than struggle. This practice works by awakening your awareness to the fundamental truth that sight is not something your eyes do, but something consciousness does through your eyes. To understand this practice, you must first grasp the Buddhist teaching that consciousness is like space itself, infinite and unchanging, while all experiences arise within this space like clouds appearing and dissolving in an endless sky. Your thoughts, emotions, sensations, and perceptions are all temporary phenomena arising within the eternal space of awareness. This includes your visual experiences, both clear and unclear. When you identify yourself as the space of awareness rather than the temporary phenomena arising within that space, a profound shift occurs in your relationship with vision problems. You realize that blurry sight is just a cloud passing through the clear sky of your consciousness. Difficulty focusing is simply weather patterns moving through the infinite space of your being. These experiences are real, but they are not who you are. They are temporary modifications of your eternal clarity, not permanent limitations of your essential nature. The practice of the infinite eye begins by establishing yourself firmly in the recognition of your true identity as limitless awareness. Sit in a comfortable position with your spine naturally erect and your eyes gently closed. Take several slow, deep breaths to center yourself in the present moment. Now turn your attention away from any thoughts, sensations, or concerns and simply rest in the awareness that is aware of these experiences. This awareness itself has no problems, no limitations, no imperfections. It is pure, clear, limitless consciousness. The same whether your eyes are functioning perfectly or struggling with various challenges. Feel yourself settling into this deeper identity, this recognition of what you truly are beyond all temporary experiences and conditions. From this foundation of recognition, begin to contemplate the nature of sight itself. Visual experience arises within your consciousness like images appearing on a movie screen. The screen itself is never damaged by any images that appear on it, no matter how chaotic or unclear those images might be. In the same way, your essential consciousness remains perfect and unlimited regardless of what visual experiences currently arise within it. Now, imagine that your awareness is expanding infinitely in all directions, becoming as vast as space itself. Within this infinite consciousness, visualize two brilliant stars appearing, representing your physical eyes. These stars are not separate from the space of your awareness. They are condensations of consciousness, focal points where your infinite nature expresses itself as the capacity for vision. Feel these star eyes floating in the ocean of your consciousness, supported and nourished by the infinite intelligence that you are. They are not isolated organs struggling to function properly. They are expressions of your own perfect nature, temporary forms through which your eternal clarity experiences the visual world. Begin to direct the infinite healing power of your consciousness toward these star eyes. This is not effort or strain, but like the sun effortlessly radiating warmth and light, your consciousness naturally possesses unlimited healing capacity. You are simply learning to direct this capacity with focused intention toward the restoration of optimal vision. Visualize streams of golden healing light flowing from the infinite space of your awareness into both star eyes simultaneously. This light carries with it all the healing power of consciousness itself. It dissolves any patterns of dysfunction, regenerates any damaged tissue, optimizes any suboptimal function. Watch as your star eyes become increasingly brilliant, increasingly perfect, increasingly capable of translating light into clear, comfortable visual experience. As you maintain this visualization, begin to expand your sense of what these eyes are capable of perceiving. See them becoming sensitive not just to ordinary light, but to the subtle energies that surround all living beings. Watch them developing the ability to perceive beauty and meaning that most people never notice. Feel them awakening to their capacity for what the ancient texts call divine sight, the ability to see the sacred nature of all visual experience. This expansion of visual capacity happens naturally when you stop limiting your eyes to their current level of function and begin to envision them expressing their true potential. Your consciousness has no built-in limitations. The restrictions you experience are learned patterns that can be unlearned through dedicated practice with clear understanding. Continue this visualization for at least 20 minutes, maintaining steady focus on the image of your star eyes floating in infinite consciousness and receiving unlimited healing energy. Don't worry if your attention wavers or if the visualization isn't perfectly stable. Simply return your focus to the practice whenever you notice your mind has wandered. As you conclude the visualization, take several minutes to integrate the experience. Feel the healing energy you have generated continuing to work in your visual system, even as you return to ordinary awareness. Sense your eyes as expressions of infinite consciousness rather than limited biological structures. Carry this recognition with you throughout your day, allowing it to transform how you relate to your vision and your capacity for clear sight. The practice of the infinite eye becomes increasingly powerful as you work with it consistently over time. Many practitioners report that after several weeks of daily practice, their relationship with their eyes undergoes a fundamental transformation. They no longer experience visual challenges as personal failures or genetic limitations. Instead, they see them as opportunities to awaken the healing power of consciousness and to discover capacities for sight that they never imagined possible. This shift in perspective often produces rapid improvements in actual visual function. When you stop believing that your eyes are damaged goods struggling to perform adequately, when you start recognizing them as expressions of perfect consciousness temporarily experiencing imperfection, the whole system begins to reorganize itself around this new understanding. The ancient masters emphasized that this practice must be approached with what they called sacred patience. The consciousness-body connection operates according to natural rhythms that cannot be rushed without creating stress and resistance. Some practitioners notice improvements within days of beginning the infinite eye practice. Others find that changes emerge gradually over months of consistent work. What matters is not the speed of visible results, but the depth of your recognition that healing is always occurring at subtle levels, even when obvious improvements are not yet apparent. Every moment you spend in genuine recognition of your true nature as limitless consciousness is contributing to positive changes throughout your entire being. The Bhutanese masters also taught advanced variations of the infinite eye practice for addressing specific vision conditions. For practitioners dealing with myopia or nearsightedness, they developed the telescopic star technique. This involves visualizing your star eyes developing the capacity to expand and contract their focal length like the lens of a telescope, effortlessly adjusting to see clearly at any distance. During the visualization, see your star eyes extending golden beams of light that can reach out to touch distant objects, bringing them into perfect focus. Feel your visual system becoming increasingly flexible and adaptive, able to shift instantly from near to far vision without strain or effort. Practice mentally reaching out to touch distant mountains, stars, or buildings with these beams of conscious light, feeling your ability to see at great distances becoming stronger and more stable. For those dealing with presbyopia or age-related focusing difficulties, the masters taught the eternal youth of vision technique. This practice works with the understanding that aging is largely a matter of consciousness identifying with limitation rather than with its own timeless nature. When consciousness recognizes its eternal, unchanging essence, the body begins to express this timeless quality more fully. Visualize your star eyes floating not just in infinite space, but in timeless eternity where concepts like aging and deterioration simply don't exist. See these eyes drawing their vitality and function from the eternal youth of consciousness itself. Watch them becoming increasingly flexible, responsive, and efficient, expressing the timeless perfection of your essential nature rather than the temporary limitations of chronological age. For practitioners working with more serious conditions like glaucoma, macular degeneration, or diabetic retinopathy, the masters developed the Phoenix Rising technique. This powerful practice works with the understanding that even apparently permanent damage can be transformed when consciousness fully commits to the possibility of regeneration and renewal. The phoenix is a mythological bird that dies in flames only to be reborn from its own ashes, more beautiful and powerful than before. This symbolizes consciousness's capacity to transform even apparently hopeless situations into opportunities for greater perfection. Visualize your star eyes as phoenix birds, burning away any damaged or dysfunctional patterns in brilliant flames of healing light, then emerging renewed with capabilities that exceed their original function. See any areas of retinal damage being consumed by healing fire and regenerating as healthy, vital tissue. Watch elevated eye pressure normalizing as the phoenix fire burns away any blockages or restrictions. Feel blood sugar imbalances being transformed by this regenerative flame into perfect metabolic harmony that supports optimal eye health. This phoenix visualization requires absolute faith in consciousness's capacity for seemingly miraculous healing. It works best when combined with appropriate medical care and lifestyle changes that support the healing process. The visualization provides the energetic foundation for regeneration, while practical measures create the optimal conditions for this regeneration to manifest in physical form. All variations of the infinite eye practice share the same fundamental principle. They work by awakening your recognition of consciousness as the true source of healing power. When you realize that you are not a limited body with a consciousness, but limitless consciousness temporarily expressing itself through a body, everything becomes possible. The same intelligence that creates galaxies and grows flowers from tiny seeds is the intelligence that operates your visual system. This intelligence has no built-in limitations, no genetic restrictions, no age-related deterioration. It is pure creative potential that can manifest as perfect vision when given clear direction through focused intention and unwavering faith. Your role in the healing process is not to force or manufacture results, but to align your conscious intentions with this infinite healing intelligence and then allow it to work through you. The practice also transforms your understanding of what perfect vision actually means. Most people think of good eyesight as simply the ability to see clearly at various distances without strain or discomfort, but practitioners who work deeply with the infinite eye techniques often discover that perfect vision involves far more than optimal physical function. True perfect vision includes the ability to see beauty in ordinary situations that most people overlook. It involves perceiving the goodness in difficult people and the opportunities hidden within challenging circumstances. It means seeing your own life with clarity and wisdom, recognizing which activities and relationships truly serve your highest well-being and which drain your vital energy unnecessarily. This expanded understanding of vision explains why practitioners often report improvements in their life circumstances alongside improvements in their eyesight. When you learn to see clearly at the physical level, you naturally begin to see more clearly at all levels. Better decisions, healthier relationships, more fulfilling work, and greater overall life satisfaction commonly emerge as natural consequences of vision restoration practice. The integration of physical and metaphysical seeing creates what the Bhutanese masters called complete vision, the state where inner and outer sight work together as a unified capacity for clear perception at all levels of existence. This represents the ultimate goal of Buddhist vision restoration, not just the return of functional eyesight, but the awakening of wisdom sight that allows you to navigate life with unprecedented clarity and effectiveness. This awakening of complete vision leads us into what the ancient masters considered the most sacred dimension of vision restoration practice, the recognition that when you heal your eyes, you simultaneously heal your capacity to perceive the divine nature of existence itself. In the deepest Buddhist understanding, perfect vision is not merely the ability to see physical objects clearly, it is the awakening of what they called Buddha sight, the capacity to perceive the luminous, sacred quality that pervades all of reality. In the remote monasteries of ancient Nepal, there existed a secret lineage of practitioners who dedicated their entire lives to what they called the great work of sacred seeing. These masters understood that most human suffering stems from a fundamental misperception about the nature of reality. We see ourselves as separate, isolated beings struggling against a hostile or indifferent universe. We perceive other people as either allies or threats to our personal agenda. We view the natural world as a collection of resources to be exploited or obstacles to be overcome. But when your vision is restored to its original perfection through the deep practices of Buddhist visualization, something extraordinary occurs. The veils of ordinary perception begin to lift, revealing the interconnected, luminous nature of all existence. You begin to see what the awakened masters have always seen: that separation is an illusion, that love is the fundamental force that holds the universe together, that every moment of your life is an opportunity to participate consciously in the sacred dance of creation itself. This transformation of perception doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't require you to develop supernatural abilities or mystical experiences. It occurs gradually, naturally, as the purification of your visual system through dedicated practice allows your consciousness to express its inherent clarity more fully. Colors become more vibrant because your awareness is more present. Details appear sharper because your attention is more focused. Faces become more beautiful because your heart is more open. The Nepalese masters developed what they considered their most profound teaching, the 7 stages of sacred seeing. These stages represent the natural progression that occurs as your vision restoration practice deepens over months and years of dedicated work. Understanding these stages helps you recognize and appreciate the subtle transformations occurring in your perception, even when obvious improvements in eyesight are not yet apparent. The first stage is called the opening of the heart's eye. This occurs when you begin to see yourself, others, and your life circumstances with genuine compassion rather than harsh judgment. The critical, fault-finding aspect of ordinary perception starts to soften as you recognize that everyone, including yourself, is doing their best given their current level of understanding and the challenges they face. During this stage, you might notice that people who previously annoyed or frustrated you begin to appear more sympathetic and understandable. You start to see the pain and fear that often drive difficult behavior, and you find yourself responding with patience rather than reactivity. Your own mistakes and shortcomings become opportunities for learning and growth rather than reasons for self-condemnation. This opening of compassionate sight often coincides with the first noticeable improvements in physical vision. As your heart opens to see with greater kindness, the chronic tension that contributes to many eye problems naturally begins to release. The muscles around your eyes relax. Blood circulation improves. The nervous system shifts from stress mode to healing mode. This demonstrates the profound connection between emotional well-being and visual health. The second stage is known as the awakening of wonder sight. This occurs when your restored appreciation for the gift of vision begins to transform how you perceive ordinary experiences. The world doesn't become objectively more beautiful, but your capacity to recognize its inherent beauty awakens. You begin to notice details, colors, and visual relationships that you had previously overlooked. During this stage, practitioners often report feeling like they're seeing familiar environments for the first time. The play of light and shadow becomes fascinating. The infinite variety of green tones in a single tree captures their attention. The way morning light streams through a window appears miraculous rather than mundane. This renewed sense of wonder is both a sign of healing and a cause of further healing, as appreciation and gratitude naturally support optimal visual function. The third stage is called the development of wisdom sight. This involves the growing ability to see through surface appearances to the deeper patterns and connections that govern situations. You become increasingly skilled at recognizing which activities, relationships, and choices truly support your well-being and which merely provide temporary pleasure or distraction. Wisdom sight allows you to see people's motivations and intentions more clearly, not in a judgmental way, but with the kind of understanding that helps you respond more skillfully to challenging interpersonal situations. You begin to recognize the early warning signs of stress, illness, or emotional imbalance in yourself and others, allowing for earlier intervention and prevention. This stage often involves significant improvements in your ability to focus and concentrate. Mental clarity increases alongside visual clarity as the same consciousness that governs sight becomes more organized and coherent through your practice. The fourth stage is the emergence of beauty sight. This represents a quantum leap in your capacity to perceive the aesthetic dimension of existence. Beauty is no longer limited to obviously beautiful objects like flowers, sunsets, or attractive people. You begin to see the subtle beauty that exists everywhere, in weathered faces that tell stories of lived experience, in simple objects that reveal perfect functionality, in natural processes that demonstrate the elegant intelligence of life itself. Beauty sight transforms your entire emotional relationship with the visual world. Instead of constantly evaluating what you see based on personal preferences or social conditioning, you develop the capacity to appreciate the unique beauty inherent in every visual experience. This doesn't mean everything looks the same, or that you lose the ability to distinguish between different qualities of beauty. Rather, you develop a more refined and inclusive aesthetic sense that can find something to appreciate in even the most ordinary circumstances. The fifth stage is known as the opening of truth sight. This involves the development of extraordinary clarity in perceiving the difference between appearance and reality, between what seems to be true and what actually is true. You become increasingly skilled at seeing through illusions, both in the external world and in your own thinking patterns. Truth sight helps you recognize when you're being influenced by wishful thinking, unconscious assumptions, or social pressures that cloud your judgment. You develop the ability to see situations as they actually are, rather than as you wish they were or fear they might be. This clear seeing becomes an invaluable guidance system for making decisions that truly serve your highest good. This stage often involves profound improvements in your ability to see in low light conditions and to distinguish subtle details that were previously invisible. The same consciousness that perceives truth more clearly also operates your physical visual system with greater precision and sensitivity. The sixth stage is called the awakening of love sight. This represents the development of the ability to perceive the inherent lovableness in all beings and situations, even those that present significant challenges. Love sight doesn't mean seeing everything as perfect or denying the existence of genuine problems. It means recognizing that beneath all surface appearances, life itself is fundamentally benevolent and worthy of your care and participation. When love sight awakens, you begin to see other people as fellow travelers on the journey of consciousness, rather than as competitors for limited resources or threats to your security. You perceive their struggles with empathy, their achievements with genuine happiness, their uniqueness with appreciation. This transformation in how you see others naturally improves all your relationships and creates a much more supportive social environment for your continued healing and growth. The seventh and final stage is the realization of unity sight. This represents the ultimate flowering of vision restoration practice, the recognition that the seer, the process of seeing, and everything that is seen are all expressions of the same same unified field of consciousness. At this stage, the boundaries between self and other, inner and outer, observer and observed, begin to dissolve into direct recognition of the fundamental interconnectedness of all existence. Unity sight doesn't eliminate your individual perspective or make you unable to function in practical situations. Rather, it provides the cosmic context within which individual action becomes most effective and meaningful. You continue to see yourself as a unique person with particular responsibilities and relationships, but you also recognize yourself as an expression of the same universal consciousness that appears as everyone and everything else. Practitioners who reach this stage often report that their physical vision becomes extraordinarily acute and comfortable. Colours appear more saturated than ever before. Details remain sharp and clear at all distances without effort. Night vision often improves dramatically. Some practitioners develop the ability to see auras or energy fields around living beings. These enhancements occur naturally as consciousness recognizes its unlimited nature and begins to express this recognition through optimized physical function. The 7 stages of sacred seeing unfold naturally over time through consistent practice with the visualization techniques, but their development can be supported and accelerated through what the Nepalese masters called the daily practice of sacred perception. This involves consciously working with your ordinary visual experiences throughout the day to cultivate the qualities associated with each stage. Each morning upon waking, spend a few minutes practicing the first stage by looking at your own face in the mirror with genuine compassion and appreciation. Instead of immediately noticing flaws or problems, focus on seeing yourself with the same kindness you would offer to a beloved friend. Thank your eyes for their faithful service and acknowledge any challenges they may be experiencing without judgment or criticism. Throughout the day, practice the second stage by deliberately noticing beauty and wonder in ordinary visual experiences. Pay attention to how light falls across surfaces. Notice the incredible variety of colors and textures in natural settings. Appreciate the complexity and functionality of human-made objects. This conscious cultivation of wonder keeps your visual system in a state of openness and receptivity that supports continued healing. During conversations and interactions with others, practice the third stage by attempting to see beneath surface appearances to the deeper truth of what's actually happening. Notice body language, facial expressions, and energy levels that reveal information beyond what's being communicated verbally. Use this wisdom sight to respond more skillfully and compassionately to the people around you. In quiet moments throughout the day, practice the fourth stage by consciously looking for beauty in unexpected places. Find something aesthetically appealing in ordinary objects, urban environments, or even challenging situations. This cultivation of beauty sight trains your consciousness to recognize the inherent perfection that exists everywhere when perceived with sufficient depth and appreciation. Practice the fifth stage by paying attention to the difference between your initial reactions to visual stimuli and what you discover when you look more carefully. Notice when your assumptions about what you're seeing are challenged by closer observation. Use this practice to develop greater accuracy and discernment in all your perceptions. The sixth stage can be cultivated by consciously looking for the lovable qualities in people and situations that initially trigger judgment or resistance. This doesn't mean ignoring genuine problems or dangers, but rather developing the ability to see the underlying humanity and complexity in even difficult circumstances. The seventh stage emerges naturally as the other stages mature through consistent practice. It cannot be forced or manufactured, but it unfolds spontaneously when consciousness recognizes its own unlimited nature through dedicated work with the earlier stages. The integration of physical vision restoration techniques with the cultivation of sacred seeing creates what the ancient masters considered the most complete approach to healing available to human beings. You don't just regain functional eyesight, you awaken to the true purpose of vision itself, to serve as a bridge between your individual consciousness and the infinite creativity and beauty that surrounds you in every moment. This understanding transforms your entire motivation for practicing vision restoration techniques. Instead of working primarily to solve a personal problem, you begin to understand your healing journey as a contribution to the awakening of consciousness itself. As your own perception becomes clearer and more loving, you naturally inspire others to develop greater appreciation for their own gift of sight. Your example becomes a form of service to the collective healing of human consciousness. The ripple effects of this work extend far beyond your individual experience. When you learn to see the world with Buddha eyes, with complete vision, with sacred sight, you begin to act in ways that support the well-being of all life. Your choices become more wise and compassionate. Your presence becomes more peaceful and healing. Your very way of looking at the world contributes to the creation of a more beautiful and harmonious reality for everyone. This is the ultimate secret of Buddhist vision restoration. It's not really about your eyes at all. It's about awakening to your true nature as limitless consciousness and learning to express this recognition through the magnificent gift of sight. When this awakening occurs, perfect vision becomes not just a personal blessing, but a sacred offering to the endless beauty and mystery of existence itself. This recognition that your vision restoration journey serves the awakening of consciousness itself brings us to what the ancient masters considered the most practical and immediately applicable aspect of their teachings: the integration of sacred seeing practices into your daily life in ways that accelerate healing while transforming every ordinary moment into an opportunity for deeper awakening. The monastery teachings were never intended to remain confined within meditation halls or formal practice sessions. They were designed to infuse your entire relationship with the visual world with healing intention and conscious awareness. In the mountain retreats of ancient Ladakh, there lived a community of Buddhist practitioners who developed what they called the seamless practice, a comprehensive system for maintaining continuous healing intention throughout all your daily activities. These masters understood that the most profound transformations occur not during formal visualization sessions, but in the countless moments between formal practices when you're simply living your life with ordinary awareness. The seamless practice works on the principle that every moment you spend looking at the world is either contributing to your healing or reinforcing patterns of dysfunction. There is no neutral ground in the realm of consciousness. Every thought, every emotion, every moment of attention is either aligned with your highest potential or with limitations that keep you stuck in suboptimal patterns of experience. This understanding transforms how you approach simple activities like reading, watching television, looking out the window, or observing people in public settings. Instead of these being passive experiences that happen automatically, they become active opportunities to cultivate the qualities of consciousness that support optimal visual function and sacred seeing. The first element of the seamless practice involves learning to breathe with conscious intention while engaged in any visual activity. Most people hold their breath or breathe shallowly when concentrating on visual tasks, creating unnecessary tension in the visual system. The Ladakhi masters discovered that maintaining slow, deep, conscious breathing while looking at anything automatically reduces eye strain and supports the flow of healing energy to the visual system. Begin implementing this practice immediately by paying attention to your breathing pattern while reading these words. Notice if you're holding your breath or breathing from high in your chest rather than deep in your belly. Consciously shift to slow, deep breathing that fills your entire torso with each inhalation. Feel how this simple change immediately relaxes your eyes and makes the visual experience more comfortable and effortless. This conscious breathing while seeing works because it maintains the connection between your visual system and the healing intelligence of your body. When you breathe consciously, you're continuously circulating life force energy through your eyes, keeping them nourished and relaxed. When you hold your breath or breathe shallowly, you create subtle tension and restrict the flow of healing energy. The second element involves cultivating what the masters called grateful looking, the practice of maintaining appreciation for the gift of sight during all visual activities. Instead of taking your ability to see for granted, you learn to approach each visual experience with the wonder and gratitude you might feel if you had been blind and suddenly received the miracle of sight. This grateful looking can be practiced anywhere, anytime you have your eyes open. Right now, pause for a moment and look around your environment with conscious appreciation. Notice how miraculous it is that patterns of light striking your retinas are being translated into the rich, detailed, three-dimensional visual experience you're having. Feel genuine amazement at your brain's capacity to process millions of bits of visual information every second and create the seamless experience of sight that allows you to navigate the world with such ease. When you maintain this appreciative awareness throughout your day, several profound changes occur in your visual system. The emotional state of gratitude naturally relaxes the muscles around your eyes and reduces the stress hormones that contribute to visual dysfunction. Your attention becomes more present and focused, allowing your eyes to work more efficiently. The neural pathways associated with vision become more active and optimized through positive emotional engagement. The third element of the seamless practice is called compassionate seeing, the cultivation of loving kindness toward everything you look at throughout your day. This doesn't mean forcing yourself to like everything you see or pretending that all visual experiences are equally pleasant. It means approaching your visual world with the same basic goodwill and care that you would offer to a good friend. Practice compassionate seeing by consciously sending loving kindness to objects, places, and people you encounter visually throughout your day. When you look at your home, send it appreciation for providing shelter and comfort. When you see plants or trees, offer them gratitude for creating oxygen and beauty. When you observe other people, wish them well-being and happiness, even if you don't know them personally. This practice of compassionate seeing has profound effects on both your visual system and your overall consciousness. When you look at the world with love, rather than judgment, criticism, or indifference, your entire nervous system relaxes into a more coherent, healing state. The chronic low-level stress that many people carry while navigating daily life dissolves when replaced with conscious goodwill toward your visual environment. The fourth element involves what the Ladakhi masters called sacred pausing, the practice of taking brief moments throughout your day to shift from unconscious looking to conscious seeing. These pauses can last anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes, but they serve to reconnect you with the healing intention that supports your vision restoration practice. Sacred pauses can be implemented dozens of times throughout your day in natural transition moments. When you first wake up and open your eyes, pause to consciously appreciate the return of sight and set an intention for the day to see with clarity and love. When you look in the mirror, pause to send appreciation to your eyes rather than immediately focusing on problems or imperfections. When you step outside, pause to consciously receive the gift of natural light and color. During work or study activities that involve intensive visual focus, implement brief sacred pauses every 15 or 20 minutes. Close your eyes for a few seconds, take several conscious breaths, and visualize healing light flowing into your visual system. Then reopen your eyes with renewed appreciation for your capacity to see and conscious intention to maintain relaxed, efficient visual function. These sacred pauses serve as reset buttons that prevent the accumulation of visual tension and maintain your connection with the healing awareness that supports optimal eye function. They also gradually train your consciousness to maintain greater presence and intention throughout all visual activities, rather than falling into unconscious automatic patterns. The fifth element is called healing light integration, the practice of visualizing subtle healing energy flowing into your eyes during ordinary visual activities. This doesn't require closing your eyes or stopping what you're doing. It involves maintaining a background awareness that your visual system is continuously being nourished by healing light while you go about your normal daily activities. You can practice healing light integration while reading by imagining that the light reflecting off the pages carries healing energy directly into your eyes. While looking at natural settings, visualize the sunlight or ambient light as streams of healing energy that optimize your visual function. While watching television or using computer screens, consciously transform the artificial light into healing energy through your intention and visualization. This continuous background visualization of healing light integration helps maintain the benefits of your formal practice sessions throughout your entire day. Instead of practicing vision restoration only during designated times, you create an ongoing field of healing intention that supports your eyes during all their working hours. The sixth element involves the cultivation of what the masters called effortless focus, the ability to maintain clear visual attention without creating unnecessary tension or strain. Most people have learned to concentrate by forcing their attention and creating muscular tension around the eyes. This inefficient approach actually interferes with optimal visual function and contributes to many common vision problems. Effortless focus is cultivated by learning to direct your attention through relaxation rather than tension, through allowing rather than forcing. Practice this by paying attention to your eye muscles while focusing on different visual tasks. Notice when you're creating unnecessary tension and consciously soften those muscles while maintaining clear attention on your visual target. When reading, experiment with the lightest possible focus that still allows clear comprehension. When looking at distant objects, practice maintaining interest and attention without straining to see more clearly. When observing fine details, allow your eyes to relax into the seeing rather than forcing them to work harder. This development of effortless focus often produces immediate improvements in visual comfort and efficiency. It also serves as excellent training for the deeper spiritual practices that require sustained attention without mental strain or physical tension. The seventh and most advanced element of the seamless practice is called unity seeing, the cultivation of awareness that your individual act of seeing is part of a vast, interconnected web of consciousness that includes all beings and all phenomena. This practice dissolves the artificial separation between yourself as seer and the world as something separate from you that you observe. Unity seeing can be practiced by recognizing that the light that illuminates the objects you see is the same light that illuminates your own consciousness. The awareness that perceives visual experience is the same fundamental awareness that appears as all the objects of your perception. When you truly understand this, the boundaries between inner and outer vision begin to dissolve, creating a more integrated and harmonious visual experience. Practice unity, seeing by occasionally reflecting during your daily visual activities on the miraculous fact that consciousness is simultaneously the seer, the process of seeing and everything that is seen. You are not separate from the visual world you perceive. You are the unified field of awareness within which all visual experience arises. The integration of these 7 elements of seamless practice creates what the Ladakhi masters called living meditation, a state where your entire relationship with the visual world becomes a continuous spiritual practice that supports both healing and awakening. Your eyes become not just organs of physical sight, but instruments of conscious participation in the sacred nature of existence itself. This transformation from ordinary seeing to living meditation often produces the most dramatic and sustained improvements in visual function. When your entire approach to daily life becomes aligned with healing intention and conscious awareness, your visual system receives continuous support rather than the sporadic attention provided by occasional formal practice sessions. Many practitioners find that implementing even a few elements of the seamless practice creates noticeable improvements in visual comfort and clarity within days of beginning. The chronic eye strain that results from unconscious visual habits begins to dissolve. Colors appear more vivid due to increased presence and attention. Focus becomes more stable and effortless as unnecessary tension is released. The key to successful implementation of seamless practice is to begin gradually with 1 or 2 elements that feel most natural and interesting to you. Trying to implement all 7 elements simultaneously usually creates stress and resistance that defeats the purpose of the practice. Start with conscious breathing while seeing and grateful looking, as these can be integrated relatively easily into your existing daily routine. Once these initial elements become natural and automatic, gradually add additional elements one at a time until the entire system becomes integrated into your way of life. Remember that the goal is not to create more work or stress for yourself, but to transform activities you're already doing into opportunities for healing and conscious awareness. The seamless practice also serves as excellent preparation for the more advanced visualization techniques by developing your capacity to maintain conscious intention and clear mental imagery while engaged in ordinary activities. The concentration and awareness you develop through daily integration naturally enhance your ability to focus during formal meditation sessions. Most importantly, the seamless practice helps you recognize that vision restoration is not something that happens separate from your ordinary life. Your daily visual experiences are the raw material from which healing emerges. Every moment of conscious seeing contributes to the gradual transformation of your visual system from stressed and strained to relaxed and optimal. The ancient masters understood that sustainable healing must be integrated into daily life, rather than confined to special practice sessions. The seamless practice provides a comprehensive framework for this integration, transforming your entire relationship with the visual world into a continuous healing practice that supports both immediate improvements in eye function and the long-term development of sacred seeing. This integration of formal practice with daily life application represents the mature stage of vision restoration work, where healing becomes not something you do, but something you are. Your very way of being in the world becomes a continuous affirmation of your commitment to clear seeing at all levels of experience. This mature integration of healing into your very way of being naturally leads us to explore what the ancient masters considered the most mysterious and powerful dimension of vision restoration: the understanding that your eyes are not merely personal organs, but cosmic receivers that connect you to the infinite intelligence and healing power that flows through all of existence. When you learn to work with this cosmic dimension of sight, your practice transcends individual healing and becomes a participation in the universal process of awakening itself. Deep in the sacred caves of ancient Mustang, there existed a lineage of practitioners who dedicated their lives to what they called the Cosmic Eye teachings. These masters had discovered through decades of intensive practice that consciousness operates on multiple levels simultaneously. While your individual awareness focuses on personal healing and daily activities, there exists a vast cosmic awareness that is continuously orchestrating the healing and evolution of all life throughout the universe. The Cosmic Eye teachings reveal that your personal vision restoration practice can be exponentially amplified by learning to align your individual healing intention with this universal healing intelligence. When you discover how to open your practice to receive support from cosmic sources of healing energy, transformations become possible that seem miraculous from an ordinary perspective, but are actually natural expressions of consciousness operating at its full potential. This cosmic dimension of practice doesn't require any special beliefs or mystical experiences to be effective. It simply involves expanding your understanding of what is available to support your healing beyond the resources of your individual mind and body. Just as your physical eyes can see much farther and more clearly when aided by telescopes or microscopes, your healing capacity can be dramatically enhanced when augmented by conscious connection with universal sources of regenerative power. The first cosmic principle that transforms vision restoration practice is called the principle of stellar nourishment. The ancient masters understood that the light from stars and planets carries specific healing frequencies that can be absorbed through conscious intention and visualization. This isn't metaphorical or symbolic, but based on the scientific understanding that all light carries information and energy that affects biological systems. Different celestial bodies emit light with different spectral characteristics and energy signatures. The masters learned to work with these cosmic light sources as external sources of healing energy that could supplement and amplify their internal visualization practices. Modern research in chronobiology and light therapy confirms that exposure to specific light frequencies can indeed influence cellular regeneration, hormone production, and nervous system function. The practice of stellar nourishment begins by developing awareness of the cosmic light sources that are continuously available to support your healing. During daylight hours, the sun provides the most powerful source of healing light frequencies, but even when the sun isn't visible, starlight, moonlight, and reflected planetary light continue to bathe the earth in subtle healing energies that your visual system can learn to absorb and utilize. To practice stellar nourishment, begin your morning visualization sessions by consciously opening your practice to receive healing support from the sun. Even if you're practicing indoors or before sunrise, visualize golden sunlight streaming toward the earth and carrying with it concentrated healing energy specifically intended to optimize your visual system. See this solar healing light as vastly more powerful and intelligent than anything your individual mind could generate through personal effort alone. Feel yourself becoming a receiver for this cosmic healing transmission, allowing solar energy to flow through your visualization practice and amplify its effects far beyond what would be possible through individual intention alone. During evening practice sessions, work with the healing energy available through moonlight and starlight. The softer, more subtle frequencies available during nighttime hours are particularly supportive for deep healing and regeneration. Visualize the light from countless stars converging on your location and entering your visual system as streams of pure healing intelligence. The second cosmic principle is called universal resonance healing. This involves understanding that your individual healing process is connected to the healing of all beings throughout the universe. When you work for the restoration of your own perfect vision, you're simultaneously contributing to the healing of vision problems experienced by countless other beings. Conversely, when you open your practice to receive support from the healing work being done by others, your individual results can be dramatically enhanced. This principle works because consciousness is fundamentally unified at the deepest levels. While we appear to be separate individuals with independent healing challenges, we're actually expressions of the same universal awareness temporarily focused through different physical forms. When you align your healing intention with this universal field of consciousness, you gain access to healing resources that far exceed anything available to isolated individual effort. Practice universal resonance healing by beginning each visualization session with the recognition that millions of beings throughout the universe are simultaneously working on healing various aspects of their visual systems. Feel yourself joining this vast network of healing intention, both offering your energy to support others' healing and receiving support from the collective field of regenerative consciousness. Visualize your healing energy connecting with and amplifying the healing work being done by practitioners throughout the world. See the combined healing intention of all sincere seekers, creating a field of healing energy so powerful that individual limitations and obstacles begin to dissolve naturally. Feel this collective field supporting your personal healing, while your healing contribution strengthens the field for everyone else. The third cosmic principle involves working with what the Masters called the galactic healing spiral. They understood that our solar system is part of a vast galaxy that is itself continuously evolving and transforming. The spiral motion of our galaxy through space creates currents of energy and information that can be accessed through advanced visualization practices to support profound healing and regeneration. The galactic healing spiral practice involves visualizing yourself and your healing work as part of the vast spiral of cosmic evolution. See your visual system not as an isolated biological mechanism, but as part of the universal process through which consciousness learns to see itself more clearly through countless forms and expressions. Begin this practice by expanding your awareness to include the fact that you're sitting on a planet that's rotating on its axis while orbiting around the Sun, which is itself moving through space as part of a galaxy containing billions of stars. Feel yourself participating in this cosmic dance of motion and transformation. Now visualize healing energy flowing along the spiral arms of the galaxy, carrying information and regenerative power from the galactic center out to all star systems, including our own. See this galactic healing energy reaching the Earth and being available to support your personal healing work. Feel yourself drawing upon healing resources that have been traveling through space for millions of years, specifically to support the evolution and healing of conscious beings like yourself. The fourth cosmic principle is called the principle of dimensional healing support. The advanced masters understood that reality exists in multiple dimensions simultaneously, and that healing resources are available from dimensions beyond the ordinary physical world. While this might sound fantastical to modern minds, it's actually consistent with contemporary physics, which recognizes that our familiar three-dimensional reality may be embedded within higher dimensional structures that we can't directly perceive, but which influence physical events. Dimensional healing support involves opening your practice to receive assistance from aspects of consciousness that exist beyond the limitations of physical form. This might include guidance from enlightened beings who have transcended ordinary physical limitations, healing energy from parallel dimensions where your visual system is already functioning perfectly, or support from your own higher dimensional aspects that exist beyond current physical constraints. Practice dimensional healing support by expanding your visualization to include the recognition that countless versions of reality exist simultaneously, including versions where your vision is already perfectly healed and optimized. Visualize opening doorways between dimensions that allow healing energy and information to flow from realities where perfect vision is already established into your current experience. Feel healing support arriving from sources beyond ordinary physical reality. This support might appear as streams of light, sensations of loving presence, intuitive guidance about optimal healing practices, or simply a sense of being held and supported by forces far more intelligent and compassionate than anything available in ordinary reality. The fifth cosmic principle involves understanding what the Masters called the evolutionary healing wave. They recognize that all of existence is continuously evolving toward greater complexity, consciousness, and perfection. Your individual healing work is part of this universal evolutionary process, and you can accelerate your results by consciously aligning with the direction in which all of life is naturally moving. The evolutionary healing wave represents the fundamental momentum of the universe toward greater wholeness, integration, and optimal function. When you align your healing intention with this evolutionary momentum, you're working with the primary creative force of existence rather than struggling against limitation and dysfunction through individual effort alone. Practice working with the evolutionary healing wave by recognizing that your desire for perfect vision is an expression of life's natural impulse toward optimal function and awakened consciousness. Feel yourself riding the wave of evolutionary momentum that has been building for billions of years and is continuously moving toward greater perfection in all forms of life. Visualize this evolutionary wave carrying you and your healing work forward with irresistible momentum toward complete restoration of perfect vision. See yourself as an active participant in the universe's awakening to its own unlimited nature, using your healing journey as an opportunity to demonstrate what becomes possible when individual consciousness aligns fully with cosmic intelligence. The integration of these cosmic principles creates what the Mustang Masters called cosmic personal healing synthesis, where your individual practice becomes a conscious collaboration with universal healing forces. This synthesis often produces results that seem impossibly rapid and complete from an ordinary perspective, but are actually natural expressions of what becomes available when healing work is aligned with cosmic support. Many practitioners who work with cosmic principles report that their healing process accelerates dramatically and becomes much more enjoyable and effortless. Instead of feeling like they're struggling against their vision problems through individual effort, they begin to experience healing as a natural unfolding that's being supported by forces far greater and wiser than their personal will. The key to working effectively with cosmic principles is maintaining what the Masters called humble receptivity. This means approaching cosmic healing support with genuine humility and receptivity rather than trying to control or manipulate these vast forces for personal benefit. Cosmic healing intelligence operates according to principles that transcend individual understanding, and attempts to control the process usually interfere with its natural effectiveness. Humble receptivity involves offering your sincere intention for healing while remaining completely open to however cosmic healing intelligence chooses to manifest its support. This might involve rapid, dramatic improvements in your vision, but it might also involve gradual, subtle changes that prepare your system to integrate more dramatic healing safely. It might include direct healing of your visual system, or it might involve guidance toward lifestyle changes, therapeutic approaches, or healing relationships that support your overall well-being. The cosmic principles also require what the Masters called sacred patience, with timing that operates according to universal rhythms rather than personal urgency. Cosmic healing intelligence operates with perfect wisdom about optimal timing for all changes and transformations. Learning to trust this wisdom, rather than demanding immediate results according to your personal preferences, allows much more profound healing to occur. Working with cosmic principles gradually transforms your entire understanding of what healing is and how it occurs. You begin to recognize that all genuine healing is actually an expression of universal intelligence working through individual forms. Your role in the healing process is not to manufacture results through personal effort, but to create optimal conditions for cosmic healing intelligence to express itself through your particular system. This recognition profoundly reduces the stress and struggle that many people experience in their healing work. Instead of feeling personally responsible for forcing healing to occur, you learn to participate consciously in a healing process that is actually being orchestrated by intelligence far greater and more compassionate than individual mind. The cosmic approach also naturally develops what the Masters called universal compassion, the recognition that your individual healing contributes to the healing of all life, and that the healing of all life supports your individual restoration. This understanding transforms healing work from a self-centered activity into a form of service to the awakening of consciousness throughout the universe. Many practitioners find that their motivation for healing work deepens and stabilizes when they understand their practice as a contribution to universal awakening, rather than simply personal problem solving. This expanded motivation provides sustainable energy for long-term practice and helps maintain dedication even when visible results are slow to appear. The cosmic teachings emphasize that advanced healing work naturally leads to service opportunities where your restored clarity becomes a gift to others. As your own vision becomes clearer and more stable, you naturally begin to help others see their own lives and challenges more clearly. Your healing journey becomes a model that inspires others to undertake their own journey toward greater wholeness and awakening. This transition from personal healing to service represents the natural maturation of vision restoration practice. When you have received the gift of clearer seeing, whether physical or metaphorical, the natural impulse is to share this gift with others who are still struggling with various forms of blindness or limitation. The cosmic principles provide the foundation for this transition by helping you recognize that all healing work is ultimately service work, even when it appears to focus on personal problems. When you heal your own vision, you're demonstrating the possibility of healing for everyone. When you awaken to clearer seeing, you're contributing to the awakening of all consciousness. Your individual transformation becomes a gift to the entire web of life of which you are an integral part. This natural transition from personal healing to universal service brings us to what the ancient masters considered the ultimate flowering of vision restoration practice, the recognition that when your seeing becomes truly clear, you begin to perceive not just the physical world with greater acuity, but the underlying spiritual reality that gives meaning and purpose to all existence. At this advanced level of practice, the restoration of perfect vision becomes inseparable from the awakening of perfect wisdom, perfect compassion, and perfect understanding of your role in the cosmic dance of consciousness. In the most remote and sacred monasteries of ancient Sikkim, there existed a final lineage of masters who had dedicated their lives to what they called the ultimate teaching of the awakened eye. These enlightened beings had discovered through lifetimes of practice that perfect vision is not merely the absence of visual problems or even the optimization of visual function. True perfect vision is the capacity to see reality exactly as it is, without the distortions created by fear, desire, ignorance, or the illusion of separation. The ultimate teaching reveals that your journey to restore physical eyesight is actually a journey toward what they called Buddha vision, the awakened sight that perceives the luminous, interconnected, sacred nature of all existence. Every technique you practice, every moment of healing intention you cultivate, every improvement in your visual function is simultaneously developing your capacity to see with the eyes of wisdom and love. This understanding transforms the entire meaning and purpose of your vision restoration work. You are not simply trying to fix a medical condition or eliminate a personal problem. You are participating in the most sacred work possible, the awakening of consciousness to its own unlimited nature. Your eyes are becoming not just organs of physical sight, but instruments of divine perception, windows through which the infinite awareness that you truly are can witness its own magnificent creation. The first aspect of Buddha vision that develops through dedicated practice is what the Sikkimese masters called pure perception. This involves the gradual purification of the filters and distortions that normally color your visual experience. Most people see the world through layers of conditioning, prejudice, expectation, and unconscious assumption. Pure perception is the development of the capacity to see things as they actually are, without the overlay of mental interpretation and emotional reactivity. Pure perception begins to develop naturally as your physical vision improves through the various visualization techniques. As chronic tension dissolves from your visual system, the same patterns of tension that create distorted thinking and emotional reactivity also begin to release. As your eyes become more relaxed and efficient, your entire nervous system shifts into a more coherent, balanced state that supports clearer perception at all levels. You can accelerate the development of pure perception by consciously practicing what the masters called fresh eyes seeing. This involves approaching familiar visual experiences as if you were seeing them for the very first time, without any preconceptions about what you expect to observe. Practice this by looking at your own reflection, your living space, familiar people or everyday objects with the curiosity and wonder of a child encountering these things for the first time. When you practice fresh eyes seeing regularly, you begin to notice details, qualities and relationships that you had previously overlooked due to unconscious assumptions about what you were seeing. Colors appear more vibrant because you're seeing them directly rather than through the filter of memory. Faces reveal previously unnoticed expressions of beauty and character. Even ordinary objects begin to display fascinating complexity and perfect functionality that you had never appreciated before. The second aspect of Buddha vision is called compassionate sight, the development of the ability to see the suffering and joy of all beings with perfect empathy and understanding. As your heart opens through the gratitude and love practices associated with vision restoration, you naturally begin to perceive the emotional and spiritual states of other people with extraordinary sensitivity and accuracy. Compassionate sight allows you to see beyond the surface behaviors and personalities that people present to the world, perceiving instead the deeper needs, fears, hopes, and aspirations that motivate their actions. This deeper seeing naturally evokes genuine compassion rather than judgment, because you begin to recognize that everyone is doing their best given their current level of understanding and the challenges they face. Practice developing compassionate sight by consciously looking for the hidden vulnerability and beauty in every person you encounter. Instead of immediately categorizing people based on their appearance, behavior, or social roles, practice seeing them as fellow souls on the journey of awakening, each facing their own unique combination of obstacles and opportunities. This practice of compassionate sight often produces profound improvements in your relationships and social interactions. When you see others with genuine empathy and understanding, rather than judgment and criticism, they naturally respond with greater openness and trust. Your very way of looking at people becomes a form of healing that helps them feel more seen, understood, and appreciated. The third aspect is known as wisdom sight, the development of the ability to perceive the deeper patterns, connections, and meanings that give structure and significance to all experience. Wisdom sight allows you to see through the apparent chaos and randomness of daily events to the underlying intelligence and purpose that orchestrates all manifestation. With wisdom sight, you begin to recognize that everything in your visual field contains information and guidance relevant to your spiritual development and life purpose. Synchronicities become visible everywhere as you develop the capacity to perceive the meaningful connections between apparently unrelated events. Natural settings reveal teachings about harmony, balance, and the integration of opposites. Human interactions display lessons about love, forgiveness, patience, and understanding. Wisdom sight develops naturally as your consciousness becomes more coherent and integrated through consistent vision restoration practice. The same clear awareness that allows your eyes to function optimally also enables your mind to perceive the deeper significance and interconnectedness of all phenomena. The fourth aspect is called sacred sight, the recognition that everything you see is a manifestation of the same divine consciousness that you yourself are. Sacred sight dissolves the artificial boundaries between sacred and mundane, revealing that every visual experience is an opportunity to witness the infinite creativity and beauty of existence expressing itself in countless forms. When sacred sight awakens, ordinary objects begin to appear luminous and alive with spiritual significance. Natural settings reveal themselves as living temples filled with the presence of divine intelligence. The faces of other people become windows into the same eternal consciousness that looks out through your own eyes. Even challenging or difficult visual experiences become opportunities to practice seeing the divine presence that exists within and behind all appearances. Sacred sight represents one of the most profound transformations possible in human consciousness. It doesn't require you to see auras, energy fields, or supernatural phenomena, though these capacities sometimes develop naturally. Sacred sight is simply the recognition that the ordinary world you see every day is actually an extraordinary manifestation of infinite love and intelligence, appearing as the countless forms that fill your visual experience. The fifth and most advanced aspect of Buddha vision is called unity sight, the ultimate recognition that the seer, the process of seeing, and everything that is seen are all expressions of the same unified field of consciousness. At this level of awakening, the boundaries between subject and object, inner and outer, self and world, dissolve into direct recognition of the fundamental oneness that underlies all apparent multiplicity. Unity sight represents the culmination of all spiritual practice, not just vision restoration work. It is the direct realization that consciousness is not something you have, but something you are. The awareness that perceives visual experience is revealed to be the same awareness that appears as all the objects of perception. In In this recognition, the search for healing, improvement, or attainment comes to an end because you discover that what you were seeking was what you always already were. The development of these 5 aspects of Buddha vision occurs gradually and naturally through consistent practice with the vision restoration techniques, but their emergence can be supported through what the Sikkimese masters called the daily practices of sacred seeing. These practices are designed to be integrated seamlessly into your ordinary daily activities, transforming every moment of visual experience into an opportunity for spiritual awakening. The first daily practice is called blessing what you see. Throughout your day, consciously offer blessings to everything that enters your visual field. When you see people, silently wish them happiness, health, and spiritual awakening. When you observe natural settings, send gratitude and appreciation to the plants, animals, and landscapes for their beauty and service. When you encounter difficult or unpleasant sights, practice sending healing energy and compassion to transform whatever suffering or dysfunction you're witnessing. This practice of continuously blessing what you see gradually transforms your entire relationship with the visual world. Instead of being a passive observer of whatever happens to appear before your eyes, you become an active participant in creating more love, healing, and beauty in the world through the power of your conscious attention and intention. The second daily practice is known as seeing the sacred in the ordinary. This involves consciously recognizing the spiritual significance and divine presence within commonplace visual experiences. Practice seeing your morning coffee cup as a perfect expression of form and function created by divine intelligence. Observe traffic patterns as manifestations of the complex interconnectedness of human society. Perceive natural weather changes as visible expressions of the vast cosmic forces that govern planetary cycles. This practice develops your capacity to find meaning, beauty, and spiritual nourishment in any environment or circumstance. Instead of needing special conditions or extraordinary experiences to feel connected to the sacred dimension of existence, you learn to perceive the divine presence that is always available within whatever you happen to be seeing. The third practice is called conscious light reception. Throughout your day, maintain awareness that all visual experience depends on light, and that light is one of the most refined and spiritual forms of energy available in physical reality. Practice consciously receiving light not just as electromagnetic radiation that enables sight, but as spiritual nourishment that feeds your soul and supports your awakening. When you step outside into natural sunlight, pause to consciously receive not just vitamin D for your physical health, but spiritual vitality for your consciousness. When you see light reflecting off water, windows, or other surfaces, practice seeing these reflections as reminders of the luminous nature of awareness itself. When you observe the play of light and shadow in any environment, use these patterns as teachings about the dance between manifest and unmanifest aspects of existence. The fourth daily practice is known as unity recognition. This involves frequently remembering throughout your day that the awareness that is seeing through your eyes is the same awareness that exists within everything you see. Practice recognizing that the consciousness looking out from your eyes is identical to the consciousness that animates every person you encounter and that exists as the essential nature of every object you observe. This practice gradually dissolves the sense of separation between yourself and your visual environment that creates so much stress and struggle in ordinary life. When you recognize that you are not separate from what you see, but are actually the unified field of consciousness within which all visual experience arises, a profound peace and sense of belonging naturally emerges. The fifth and most advanced daily practice is called offering your sight in service. This involves dedicating your capacity for vision to the awakening and well-being of all life rather than using it primarily for personal pleasure or advantage. Practice using your sight to look for opportunities to be helpful, to notice when others need assistance or comfort, to appreciate the beauty that lifts people's spirits, and to witness the goodness and potential that exists in every situation. When your seeing becomes an offering of service rather than an activity focused primarily on personal gratification, your vision naturally becomes clearer, more stable, and more meaningful. The eyes function optimally when they are used in alignment with love and compassion, rather than selfishness and unconscious consumption of visual stimulation. The integration of Buddha vision development with physical vision restoration creates what the ancient masters considered the most complete form of healing possible. Your eyes don't just return to normal function or even optimal performance. They become instruments of awakened consciousness, capable of perceiving reality with unprecedented clarity, beauty, and meaning. Many practitioners who work with these advanced teachings report that their experience of vision becomes so rich and meaningful that they can hardly believe they are looking at the same world they saw before beginning their practice. Colors don't just appear clearer, they seem to carry emotional and spiritual information that enhances the meaning of everything they illuminate. Details don't just become more visible, they reveal the incredible intelligence and artistry that has gone into creating even the most ordinary objects and natural forms. The development of Buddha vision also naturally leads to what the masters called effortless service, where your very way of seeing the world becomes a contribution to the healing and awakening of all life. When you see with pure perception, compassionate sight, wisdom sight, sacred sight, and unity sight, your presence becomes healing for others. People feel more seen, understood, and appreciated when you look at them. Environments become more peaceful and harmonious when you observe them with awakened awareness. This effortless service represents the natural flowering of advanced vision restoration practice. Your healing journey, which may have begun as an attempt to solve a personal problem, gradually transforms into a way of contributing to the awakening of consciousness throughout the world. Your restored sight becomes a gift not just to yourself, but to every being whose life is touched by your awakened way of seeing. The ancient masters emphasize that this transformation from personal healing to universal service is not something you need to force or manufacture. It occurs naturally and spontaneously when your practice matures and your understanding deepens. The same love and wisdom that restores your vision naturally expresses itself as care and compassion for the well-being of all life. This recognition brings us to the final understanding that the Sikkimese masters considered the ultimate secret of their entire teaching, that vision restoration is not really about your eyes at all, but about the awakening of the infinite consciousness that you have always been to its own unlimited nature and boundless capacity for love, wisdom, and service to all existence. This ultimate recognition that vision restoration reveals the awakening of infinite consciousness itself brings us to the profound completion of these ancient teachings, where we understand that every moment of practice, every visualization technique, every breath of healing intention has been preparing you for something far greater than the restoration of mere physical sight. You have been walking a path that leads to the remembrance of your true nature as the very awareness through which all seeing occurs, the luminous consciousness that illuminates not just the visual world, but all of existence itself. In the highest peaks of the ancient Himalayas, where the air is so thin that only the most dedicated seekers could survive, there existed the final monastery of the complete vision lineage. Here, masters who had transcended all ordinary limitations of sight dwelt in continuous recognition of what they called the great perfection of seeing. These awakened beings had discovered that when vision restoration practice reaches its ultimate fulfillment, it reveals that perfect sight was never something that needed to be achieved or recovered. It was always the very nature of consciousness itself, temporarily obscured by the illusion of limitation, but never actually absent or damaged. The great perfection of seeing represents the recognition that the awareness reading these words right now, the consciousness that has been following this entire journey of healing and awakening, is itself the perfect vision you have been seeking. This awareness needs no improvement, requires no healing, suffers no limitation. It is the eternal, unchanging, luminous space of consciousness within which all visual experiences arise and dissolve like waves on an infinite ocean. This final understanding doesn't negate or minimize the importance of the physical healing work you have been doing. Every technique you have practiced, every moment of loving attention you have given to your eyes, every visualization that has sent healing energy through your visual system has been absolutely necessary and beneficial. But now you can recognize that all of this work has been serving a purpose even greater than the restoration of optimal visual function. It has been preparing you to recognize what you truly are beyond all temporary forms and conditions. The masters of the complete vision lineage taught that there are three final recognitions that complete the journey of vision restoration and transform it into complete spiritual awakening. These recognitions cannot be grasped through intellectual understanding alone. They must be realized through direct experience that emerges naturally from dedicated practice, with all the techniques and teachings that have come before. The first final recognition is called the recognition of the seer. This involves the profound realization that you are not the body that has eyes, not the mind that processes visual information, not the personality that experiences visual pleasure or difficulty. You are the pure awareness within which all of these experiences appear. This awareness itself has never been born and will never die. It has never been healthy or sick, young or old, limited or unlimited. It simply is, eternally present, eternally perfect, eternally aware. When this recognition dawns, your entire relationship with vision problems transforms completely. You realize that while the eyes may experience various conditions and the visual system may function with varying degrees of efficiency, the awareness that sees through these eyes remains eternally unaffected by any temporary conditions. Just as a movie screen is never harmed by whatever images are projected on it, the awareness that you are is never actually limited by whatever visual experiences arise within it. This doesn't mean you become indifferent to the health and function of your eyes. Rather, you begin to care for them from a place of profound wisdom and compassion rather than from fear and attachment. You understand that maintaining optimal visual health is a way of honoring the gift of sight and ensuring that your eyes can serve as clear instruments for the expression of awakened consciousness. The second final recognition is called the recognition of the seeing. This involves the understanding that seeing is not something your eyes do, but something consciousness does through your eyes. The capacity for vision is not generated by biological mechanisms, though these mechanisms serve as instruments for its expression. Vision is an intrinsic capacity of awareness itself, as natural and essential as space's capacity to contain objects or the sun's capacity to shine light. When you recognize the true nature of seeing, you understand that perfect vision is not a goal to be achieved, but your natural condition temporarily obscured by the belief in limitation. The same awareness that effortlessly sees these words could just as easily see with perfect clarity at any distance, in any lighting condition, with any degree of detail or scope. The limitations you have experienced are not permanent features of your visual capacity, but temporary restrictions that dissolve naturally as consciousness recognizes its unlimited nature. This recognition often coincides with dramatic improvements in physical vision that seem to occur spontaneously without specific effort or technique. When consciousness recognizes its inherent perfection, the body naturally aligns with this recognition, optimizing all systems including the visual apparatus. Many practitioners report that their most significant healing breakthroughs occurred not during formal practice sessions, but in moments of spontaneous recognition of their true nature. The third and ultimate recognition is called the recognition of the seen. This is the most profound realization of all, that everything you see, from the most ordinary objects to the most extraordinary visions, from the most beautiful landscapes to the most challenging circumstances, is actually the same consciousness that you are appearing in countless forms for the sheer joy and wonder of experiencing itself from infinite perspectives. When this recognition becomes established, the entire universe reveals itself as your own consciousness playing in the field of manifestation. Every person you see is yourself wearing a different costume. Every object you observe is yourself taking a different form. Every landscape you witness is yourself painting with the colors of creation. The boundaries between self and world, inner and outer, observer and observed, dissolve completely into the recognition of fundamental unity. This recognition transforms every moment of visual experience into a celebration of consciousness recognizing itself. Looking at a flower becomes consciousness appreciating its own beauty. Seeing the face of a loved one becomes consciousness loving itself. Witnessing difficult or challenging sights becomes consciousness offering compassion to itself in the midst of temporary experiences of limitation or suffering. The integration of these three final recognitions creates what the ancient masters called the state of perfect completion. In this state, the journey of vision restoration reveals itself to have been perfect from the very beginning. Every challenge you faced was exactly what was needed to awaken deeper understanding and compassion. Every technique you practiced was precisely the right preparation for the recognition of your true nature. Every moment of difficulty or discouragement was a necessary part of developing the humility and dedication required for complete awakening. From the perspective of perfect completion, you can see that your vision problems, rather than being obstacles to overcome, were actually gifts that drew your attention to the miracle of sight and motivated you to develop a profound relationship with consciousness itself. Without these challenges, you might have continued taking the extraordinary gift of awareness for granted throughout your entire life. This doesn't mean you should feel grateful for suffering or seek out difficulties. It simply means you can recognize how consciousness uses even apparent limitations as opportunities for greater awakening and deeper understanding. Your healing journey becomes a perfect example of how infinite intelligence works through all circumstances to guide consciousness toward recognition of its own unlimited nature. The state of perfect completion also includes what the masters called effortless maintenance, where optimal visual function becomes as natural and automatic as breathing or the beating of your heart. You no longer need to work at maintaining clear sight because consciousness naturally expresses itself as perfect vision when not obstructed by beliefs in limitation or patterns of dysfunction. This doesn't mean you abandon all care for your visual health or cease practicing the techniques that have supported your healing. Rather, these activities become expressions of wisdom and gratitude rather than efforts to fix problems or achieve improvements. Just as you naturally care for your body through proper nutrition and exercise, you naturally maintain your visual health through practices that support optimal function and continued awakening. Many practitioners who reach this stage of completion find that they are naturally drawn to share their understanding and experience with others who are struggling with vision problems or seeking spiritual awakening. This teaching impulse arises spontaneously from the recognition that all beings are seeking the same fundamental truth, the recognition of their own perfect, unlimited nature. Your journey from vision problems to perfect sight becomes a living demonstration that seemingly impossible healing is not only possible but natural when consciousness recognizes what it truly is. Your example provides hope and inspiration for others, while your direct experience of the healing process allows you to offer practical guidance that comes from authentic understanding rather than theoretical knowledge. The ancient masters emphasized that this sharing of understanding is not something you need to seek out or force. Opportunities to serve naturally arise when you embody the recognition of perfect completion. People are drawn to the clarity, peace, and authenticity that radiates from someone who has recognized their true nature and completed a profound healing journey. Sometimes this service takes the form of formal teaching or healing work. Sometimes it expresses itself through simple presence that inspires others to undertake their own journey of awakening. Sometimes it manifests as living examples of what becomes possible when someone dedicates themselves completely to truth and healing. All forms of service are equally valuable and meaningful when they arise from authentic realization rather than ego-driven desires for recognition or importance. The final teaching of the complete vision lineage is that the journey never truly ends, even when perfect completion is realized. Consciousness is infinitely creative and continuously finding new ways to express and explore its unlimited nature. Your restored vision becomes a foundation for ever deeper recognition of the miracle of existence and ever more refined appreciation of the beauty and intelligence that pervades all of reality. Each day brings new opportunities to see more clearly, love more deeply, and serve more effectively. Each moment of visual experience becomes a fresh invitation to recognize the sacred nature of awareness and to participate consciously in the ongoing creation of a more beautiful and awakened world. The techniques you have learned become living practices rather than mechanical exercises. The understanding you have gained becomes wisdom that naturally guides your choices and responses. The healing you have experienced becomes a source of compassion for all beings who are still struggling with various forms of limitation or suffering. As you continue to live from this recognition of perfect completion, your very existence becomes a blessing to all life. Your clear seeing contributes to the collective awakening of human consciousness. Your restored vision serves as evidence that profound healing and transformation are always possible when approached with proper understanding, genuine dedication, and complete trust in the unlimited nature of consciousness itself. The ancient masters would conclude their teachings by reminding students that everything they had learned was ultimately pointing to one simple truth. You are the infinite, eternal, perfect consciousness that has always been looking through these eyes, that will continue looking through countless eyes, and that is simultaneously the seer, the seeing, and everything that is seen. This recognition is the ultimate healing, the perfect completion, and the beginning of endless service to the awakening of all beings everywhere. In this recognition, the journey of vision restoration reveals its true purpose, not merely to fix a medical condition, but to awaken consciousness to its own unlimited nature and boundless capacity for healing, wisdom, love, and service. Your eyes become windows not just to the physical world, but to the infinite dimensions of existence itself, forever seeing with the perfect clarity of awakened consciousness.